Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand final for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy June monthly event. It's going to be between Wam and the Mista. We've had Pool 1's championship already sorted out. We've got the champion. They've booked their place. I'm not going to spoil who it is. It's probably one of the best sets in Age of Empires 4 I've ever seen. I've cast it out on the channel if you want to have a look at it. If you haven't seen it already, it's a fantastic one. It's definitely worth a watch. But for this video, we're focusing on Pool 2, and we're going to have another champion booking their place to the main event in Castle Heidelberg, Germany, Red Bull Wololo Legacy. On the west side of the map, we've got Wam, playing in blue as a Delhi Sultanate. On the east side of the map, playing in red as a Chinese, we've got the Mista. One of these players will be going to Castle Heidelberg, Germany, at least one of these players, that is. They'll have many other opportunities to qualify as well, but today there will only be one. There will only be one champion progressing to the next stage and the main event. The Sid matchup's an interesting one. The Delhi Sultanate can be relatively aggressive in the feudal age. Chinese, a little bit kind of the similar sort of way, especially if they supervise their production buildings with the Imperial Official. But often, the Chinese do play that eco approach, going for the Song Dynasty, that kind of approach. We shall see how these players play it out. I mean, the Chinese have some wacky strategies as well. Barbican drops, outpost rushes, you name it, they can do it often. The Delhi Sultanate here going up with the Dome of the Faith, no surprises there, usually the landmark of choice for the Delhi. I don't think we've seen the Tower of Victory even once during the June monthlies here. Chinese bringing lots of sheep back to the mill. Mista will be happy about that. 4 villages and gold as well. This does suggest a fast feudal or maybe Song Dynasty going here, because 5 villages is quite hefty. Maybe even a fast castle. We shall see how this pans out. Of course, the sacred sites will be an issue because the Delhi Sultanate get the bonus of being able to have 150 gold per minute from each sacred site after they get the research sanctity. Villagers going forward for that Barbican on that middle sacred site. This is something very commonly done, looking to deny at least one sacred site in the game. 2 scouts fighting each other around that berry patch. And Mista microing back, looking to keep those scouts alive. Secure this position with 3 villagers building that Barbican of the Sun. Wam might want to just harass those villagers, but probably won't be able to do too much with an equal number of scouts there. We'll be starting to punch away at those villagers though. Alrighty. Wam almost up to the feudal age. Mista a little bit farther behind, but the villagers do build quicker, so that time differential won't be as big as you think. Being a nuisance there, Wam, more than anything. And we see the Imperial Official dropping off the gold tax collected from the mill. Well, I'm getting to the feudal age first. Let's see if he does put some production buildings down, looking to see who gets those upgrades. Yep, getting forestry, getting horticulture now as well, and getting the gold mining upgrade. Those researches are for free, so something you definitely want to be getting as a Delhi Sultanate. Those 3 villagers going to stick it out on the front underneath the Barbican of the Sun, get some wood there. Certainly is going to be the resource needed. He's going to put an outpost on the gold as well. Doesn't want to get pushed off this gold. Pretty important for the Chinese here. More villagers coming out. Go to that gold. A stable's going down for Delhi. It's kind of expected. Standard opening here for Wam. And the horsemen queued up. Going to get that mobility on the map. Looking to pressure the issue a bit here. Maybe look to harass the villagers on gold. We shall see if that's what he decides to do. Outpost going on that gold to protect those villagers. An Imperial Official coming out as well. As you can see, Imperial Official collecting that nice tax. No Song Dynasty. Looks like Mista is going for the fast castle actually, because he's getting 2 outposts. I think that's probably the reason why. Maybe not actually. He may just want to be defensive and protect that eco. But you get the feeling with this investment in static defenses, he may be looking for something a little bit greedy here. Because he doesn't have any production buildings. That is important to note. Wow, I'm looking to get those horsemen on the field. He's actually supervising or garrisoning one of the scholars as well. One of the techs is efficient production, which means that scholars garrisoning in the production buildings can double produce effectively, or increases the speed of production. So it's effectively 2 stables there being in terms of speed of production. Horseman there for Wam, looking just to move past that wolf. Looking to get some value, but not managing it because of these outposts. In very good positions here, protecting the food and gold eco. It looks like Wam is facing up against a fast castle build perhaps, because there aren't any production buildings. Actually, I say that, but now barracks is going down on the front lines, just underneath the protection of the Barbican of the Sun. Horsemen continue to come out. Looks like Wam is really committed to the feudal age, and who could blame him? He's probably going to look to secure those sacred sites relatively soon. Sanctity has come in. Oh, no, it's not actually. 43 seconds away. Archer range going down for the Delhi Sultanate as well. So it looks like Horseman Archers is the army combination of choice. Mista, on the other hand, yeah, it does look like he's going for a fast castle build, guys. 7 minutes on the clock. He's working his way there. Almost enough with the gold. Just needs to get quite a bit more food, though. We shall see if the Delhi Sultanate can punish that, because they can pump out units. Sure, when their scholars are garrisoned inside the buildings. Well, 2 horsemen on the southern sacred site. Nothing in the middle, of course, because that Barbican Sun protecting that position. Nothing on the northern sacred site either, though. Alright, I think the scholar's going to garrison himself in the archer range. Look to produce that army super fast for the Delhi Sultanate. Mista almost on the way up. Almost 8 minutes on the clock. And is going to build that landmark, probably the astronomical clock tower. We need to just confirm that. But it does look like a fast castle, and a very fast castle at that. 8 minutes. And don't think the Chinese villagers will reduce or build that landmark relatively quickly. It's actually an Imperial Palace. Whoa. Wait, what? Going up with the Imperial Palace. And this will enable him to use spies and find out where the enemy villages are. But this is a really off-meta play. We don't often see the Imperial Palace, ladies and gentlemen, on the finals of the grand finals of the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy. He's going for the Imperial Palace, building it with 8 villages, getting a blacksmith as well. This is such an interesting choice. Holy smokes, is that intended? I suppose it is. Northern Sacred has been caught by Wam now. Going to be 150 gold per minute. Good trickle of gold there for him. But there is the castle age for Wam, for the Mista rather, but Wam is going to be aware of that. Looking to wall that out on the southern sacred side. Blacksmith being supervised as well. Looking to get those iron undermesh upgrades and others as well. Supervising the barracks. Looks like it's a palace guard rush. It's fast castle into palace guards for Mista. Wam's going to struggle to defend against that because castle age units are particularly strong, especially the palace guards, because I mean, the main counter is crossbows, and the issue is that you can't get crossbows until you're in the castle age yourself. But Wam is very, very far away from that. It's going to need to invest in archers. That's probably his best bet here. But we shall see. He's not supervising that building, though. And Wam could be on a bit of a spot of bother, though, but we shall see, because the palace guards do need to do some damage here. The nice thing about the Imperial Palaces, though, he'll be able to see. The Minister will be able to see where the villagers are if he uses the spies. And that's what he's... I'm not sure if he had one for free and then can go. Looks like he's doing that. He sees what's going on here. Sending a spearman and a scout as well. Looking to try and decamp the sacred site before it gets walled up. Alright. Quite a decent number of palace guards there. Looking to take an engagement on the horsemen. The thing is, horsemen should be able to dictate the fight and back off. Wam's been pushed off gold and berries. Not many berries left there anyway, to be fair. Taking the lion's share of it. Palace guard's going to shred through these spearmen. Moving down to the west side of the map. Might be looking targeting that wood line. The Mista looking strong here. Wam under a bit of pressure. Does lose the scout though. That's important vision that he won't have. Palace guards looking to dive. Not getting as much value as you'd hope though. In the northern corner. Bim will be taken out by the horsemen. And the walls go up. Sacred site is intact. Delhi Sultan have secured the northern sacred site and the southern one. With the horsemen there guarding as well. Palace guards not getting a huge amount of value. They're dying underneath the town centre. Not ideal. Even with the iron undermesh upgrade. We'll be able to snipe some villages on the wood line, but they don't chop through them too quickly, actually, as we said. Needs more than one. And that palace guard dies as well. Not too much value there, I think. Apart from idle time. Does lose a couple of villages on berries, though, Wam. Not reacting to that situation. Let's take a look at the village count. 34 for the Mista. 32 for Wam. There is the castle age upgrade. Going with the House of Learning. Wam getting up to the castle age in a timely manner, because that's definitely needed. He's going to need that upgrades, those techs. He's going to need to have access to the units. Holy moly, village is going to go down there. Oh, palace guards don't recognize it. Mista just misses out on a lot of villages there. Really unfortunate for him. And there is actually a scout there harassing the villagers on berries. Not going to do too much damage because, well, it's just one scout. But the palace guard is going to rush the town centre. Mista looking to suffocate Wam. But Wam getting to castle age should be able to push a lot of this back. Horsemen going to engage. Horsemen are coming back for Wam. Going to clear this up, and that's going to be nice for him because he needs to get that economy rolling again. If villagers need to come out, they need to get working because he's going to need to fund some army in the castle age. House of Learning almost there, about 25% of the way there though, actually. Needs a bit more time. A lot of horsemen on the field, needs to buy them some time. Palace guards going to keep diving in, keeping a lot of villages idle. That's the key issue for Mista. He's been able to keep a lot of the economy idle. Rushing up that Castle Age's Wam, using all the villages he has almost, 32 of them. Palace Guards again, looking to take a good trade against the Horsemen, going to do some damage here. Horseman will need to back off, you think, and yeah, he does back off. Going to be healed up by the Scholars. There is the New Age. There is the Castle Age for Wam. We shall see if he goes for crossbows. Exactly what he does, I'm not too sure just yet. We'll see, we'll see. But can he afford much? Not really. He hasn't got the food income. This is because he's been delayed so much in terms of the idled economy. 35 food in the bank. Holy smokes, needs to get that food income quickly. Villagers coming out on the right side. Palace Guards looking there to protect those berries. This is a nice play by Mista. He's actually denying the food very well. A lot of horsemen there looking to push those 2 Palace Guards, 3 Palace Guards back. But again, idle economy here. Palace Guards going to look to raid the wood line. Wham is under trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, it seems. Mista looking strong at this point. But don't forget and underestimate the power of those 2 sacred sites. Passive gold generation, Palace Guards running in, not getting too much value has to be said apart from idle time. Palace Guards will want to take out some villages, will flank these villages, maybe 1 or 2 will go down, actually they don't. Wheelbarrow coming in clutch. Villagers really move fast, don't they? Holy smokes. Okay, we hear some relics being picked up. I wonder if that's for Wam or for Mista. I suspect it's for Mista because Wam's under a lot of pressure here. It'd be amazing. It is actually for Wam. Holy smokes, in and amongst all this trouble, all this pressure, he's actually not prioritizing, but he's actually looking to get some of the relics. That shows you the quality of these players, being able to, under all this pressure, being able to actually pick up relics. And there may be one that might be brought in. Going around the long way, doesn't want to get discovered. Palace Guards again, looking just to deny those berries, and he will do so. Scholar going out to try and pick up that relic, but might be denied if these Palace Guards turn around, but they probably won't because they will lose their lives. More Palace Guards coming around from the south for the Mista, maybe a wololo here. Palace Guards will be looking to poke and prod that relic and that Scholar, but there's a wololo from the other Mista. No, Mista pull out there. He pulls out just in time. Wololo doesn't go off. Wam may be able to secure 1 relic, but actually Mista might just charge that down. Horseman looking to protect him. And Mista actually splits the army into 2 because there's another relic being picked up by Scholars. Scholars going down left, right, and centre though. Another Scholar coming out forward for Wam, looking to get another wololo. And he does it, he activates it, pushes the army back, buys himself some time. Lancers on the field now for the Delhi Sultanate. Holy smokes, things really heating up. Palace Guards going down the northern corner of the map. Another stable looking to be put up there by 3 villages, but they may be sniped by the Mista. Mista getting decent value from the army still. 37 villages for Wam, 45 for the Mista. Mista certainly ahead in the economy. Don't forget the sacred sites, that's a lot of villages equivalent. 300 gold coming in per minute just from the sacred sites. That's a good equivalent to about 8 villages. Something along those lines. Mista keeps on funneling those Palace Guards. A lot of villages here, 35 on this deer patch. Berry patches being on the left denied. Mista has a good presence of mind to notice that there are berries there. And the good thing for... Oh, there's a wololo going on there on the front line. Just 2 Palace Guards will be backing off. Oh, they will be taken though. Yep, they will be captured. There's the wololo. Brings it off. 2 Palace Guards for the Delhi. And the reason why the villages are so hard to kill is because of the textiles. That is so important. There would be so many more villager losses if it wasn't for textiles at this point. Wam having the presence of mind to do that. A lot of lancers on the field. Looking to take an engagement. I'm not sure it's a good one. Does get the charge attacks though, so that's certainly a good thing. But there are a lot of spearmen in and amongst those Palace Guards. Looks like 4 barracks units for the Mista and the Chinese. Another relic coming in, 1 so far. Another wololo going there on the north. Maybe getting another spearman. Just backs out of there, just gets out of there in time. A lot of relics being held there by Wam and the Delhi Sultanate. Lancers chasing this down. Keeping the army at bay. Keeping the economy running. This is the important part for Wam, making sure his economy is running. But villagers are idling here. Yeah, the Palace Guards doing great work at trying to deny those berry villagers. And now some outposts do go up though, 2 of them on the berry patch, sorry, the deer patch. That's going to be useful for Wam for that food income. He needs that food income to be able to produce those lancers, that's for sure. Oh, 2 Palace Guards that he converted. These traitors slaying the Chinese villagers now. Wam getting huge value from this actually. It seemed like only 2 Palace Guards, but these 2 Palace Guards turned traitors, and I don't think textiles is in for Mista. He's never actually had the need to. Hasn't been raided until now, but now these villagers will be going down. Mista is not being able to fight this off. There's just only 1 Palace Guard there fighting off with villagers. Mista can lose a lot of villagers, no textiles. This is the difference. This raiding is absolutely huge. Wow, I'm getting so much value from these palace guards. Mista needs to do something about this. He's losing villagers. 44 for Wam, 46 for the Mista. We see that differential really narrowing. Mista's going to lose everything here. He needs to deal with this and fast. Doesn't seem like he's sending anything. It's literally just one palace guard looking to fight this off, and he's going to lose all those villagers, all that hard work, all that raiding, coming to nothing, but villagers are going there for Wam as well. And the berry patch is completely idle. And the deers, these villagers having to go back, and there's 23 of them, not all going to fit into the towers. But here, villagers went down left, right, and centre. Those palace guards got so much value, it's unreal. Lancers now looking to try and assault this army. Quite a few spearmen getting the charge attack off, backing off. Scholars there looking to heal. This is the issue about the Delhi Sultanate and their army. They can take really good trades here and also heal up with the scholars. Mista having to back off. Doesn't really have the army to take this just yet. Going to add in a couple more spearmen. Does turn around and fight. The scholars probably going to be the difference here. Gets a good surround. Mista might clean this up, but at what cost? Because there are scholars there healing up the army. That's going to change things a lot. But the Lancers will go down, you feel. A lot of army here. The Lancers do back away. Wham! Pulls away. A lot of dead bodies there though. Especially for the Mista. Lancers pull back and he's going to be able to heal up the rest of those forces. Wham! Looking to have recovered here quite a bit. 46 villagers for the Mista. 44 for Wham! And Wham! After all that pressure is actually doing relatively well. There's still a palace guard on those berries. Mista doing well to keep things there. Again though, Wham! Looking to raid that. He got so much value out of that. Looking to try and get some more value again. Mista going for the ball. Needs to keep an eye on this village. Doesn't have textiles. Villager does go down. Holy moly. And now Wham! Looking to go on the left side. Getting an outpost there to secure those berries. Again, this is where the source of the big fight is really. Spearmen and palace guards versus lancers and scholars. And I think Wham sees this. Wham sees this. He knows that he's going for the ball. This could be another focus for attention here. On the right side, 2 lancers for Wham! Getting so much value. Textiles. Please say he's got textiles now. He doesn't. He's going to lose villagers again. Lancers chopping down 2 more villagers. 2 villagers. Not going to be the only ones because he loses another and another. The Lancers getting charge attack. These 4 Lancers getting so much value. Another one will be going down. No textiles is such a big deal. 2 Lancers turn around. And another. Ladies and gentlemen. Mista. This is needed. They need textiles here. Loses another 2. These Lancers getting huge value. Going to raid the woodline now. Mista hasn't realised at all. This is painful. On the west side though, there's a big fight here. This is where Mista's attention is. He pulls away for half of his army. Taking a really bad trade there. Looking to get the palace guards on the berry patches. There's only 4 villagers there though. And the woodline is going down for Mista. Mista is not paying attention here. He's losing it. 21 villagers for the Mista. For all that aggression, the Wham! He pulls back. He gets the Lancers. He's killing villagers left, right and centre. That woodline is absolutely decimated. You get the feeling that the Mista will take a look and he'll probably call it there because he notices... Once he notices that Eco's totally dead, and that's what it is. I think he noticed he lost way too much there for the raiding. Mista loses the first game. Wham! Pulls ahead in the first game of the set. 6 more games potentially to come. Wham! In the driver's seat for now. We shall see if Mista can have a response in this grand final. Stick around for game number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand final for Red Bull Wololo Legacy for Pool 2 between Wam and Mista. And we have got a Mongols mirror match on Frisian Marshes, one of the custom maps developed by the community members. And this is going to be a fantastic one, I think. Mongols mirror. It's really going to come down to the map generation, you feel. Town centre, going on the woodline next to the stone for the Ovu, and a relatively close gold. Now, this is the issue. On Frisian Marshes, often it's the gold that's the issue, being far forward. But in this scenario, with Wam playing on the east side of the map in blue, his gold line is actually really close by, and this is a perfect generation for him, you feel. As good as it can get. On the west side of the map, the Mista has a decent one too. He's got the wood line and gold relatively close by. It's the Ovi that's the issue for the Mista. That could become a problem, especially in a Mongols mirror. We shall see how this one pans out. I'm expecting huge amounts of aggression on this map. Both players going for Mongols. Could we see... I don't know what to do. I mean, Mongols is usually outpost rush meta. But what do you do in a Mongols mirror? I haven't seen a Mongols mirror for ages. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Mongols mirror. And now we're going to see it in the grand finals for the Red Bull Wololo Legacy, the road to it, the qualifying tournament hosted by EGCTV. Holy smokes, strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a banger. I can feel it. Sheep coming in for the Mista on the left side, playing in red. And if you guys haven't seen it so far, the Frisian Marshes is a really nice map. It's got shorefish, which is essentially the fastest food resource you can get on this map. and in the game, apart from deep water fish. Of course, the reduced walking distance time for the villagers to drop off as well is a key factor compared to fishing ships and deep water fish. Khan going around getting as many sheep as possible. Lots of sheep on this map, actually, to be fair. Got to bear that in mind as well. So the food economy will be strong in the early game. You often don't need even transitions to farms unless it gets to super late game, or pastures in this sense, for the Mongols. Right. Keep an eye on things because there'll be fine margins in mirror matches. That's often the case. Mirror matches are often games of fine margins. A girl going up for the Mista. Maybe look to get some upgrades because that's relatively close anyway, but wants to make that efficient. Spending the wood in order to do so. Oh, actually, okay, so Mista's going out early. He's going out early. He's committing to the shorefish. That will certainly help his cause because actually he's got 5 villagers there. And if Wam spots this, this could become a problem for the Mista. But Mista, he's gambling a bit. He's playing aggressive. He's looking to get those fish in, the food in as early as he can, as quick as he can. I'm not sure why the villagers going that one. That would have been a closer one to take, but it might have been a misclick there. Yeah, I think Mista's just going to fix that maybe. We shall see. So they're just going to go for the long way around. Maybe this shoreline fish just has nicer, juicier fishes. We see that Wam is going to be going up to the next stage with the deer stones. Right. Have a look at Mista's position as well. Mista actually... Wait, what's going on? Oh my god. Okay, Mista's going for an outpost rush. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Got 2 spearmen. He hasn't got spearmen. Wait, what's going on? No, that's actually not built. He thought about it and then deleted it. A little bit confused about the build for Mista. Not going up to the next stage just yet. Something's not quite right here. 14 villagers for the Mista, 16 for Wam. 2 villagers. What is going on? Wow, Mista's 2 villagers behind. I think he may have lost some villagers. We didn't see anything. I'm pretty sure we didn't see or miss anything. Stable going down for Wam. This is very awkward for the Mista. I think it's just a really bad start for him. Scout coming in. A lot of sheep though for the Mista. Has access to a lot of sheep. Maybe had a bit of idle time on his town centre because of lack of food perhaps. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but he is 2 villagers down. Yeah. Just the one actually. Just the one villager down. It looks like Mista went for 2 scouts. Wam only went for 1 it seems. Well, starts off with the Khan, so didn't go for an extra one essentially. There's a stable going down next to the Ovu, looking to get up to that food ledge relatively quickly is Wam. No outpost rushes coming in. And it's a bit of a curious build actually for Mista because he's gone for 2 scouts, but he's actually gone for the shorefish anyway. So looking to get those sheep in, maybe looking to come back again to those sheep. But he invested a lot in that 2nd scout. Especially considering he's going for the shorefish. Wam, not going for the shorefish, make sure that his economy is safe underneath the town centre. Not doing anything crazy here. Sending a villager forward somewhere. Wonder where this villager's going. Looking to maybe sneak round. There's the new age for Wam. At about 5 minutes, Deerstone's now being built by the Mista. Relatively late, all things considered. I think Mista might have got some eco upgrades, perhaps. Yeah, Mista actually went for wheelbarrow. Can't say the same for Wam. And now Wam notices this. An outpost will be going up for the Mista, but again, no textiles. So this villager will need to back off, though. Now we have Dark Age Khan versus a Feudal Age Khan. There's the arrow signal maneuver. Maneuver arrow, rather. Gonna get that movement speed. Early horseman on the field. Actually, these have been upgraded. Horseman on the field. Looking to snipe those villagers. Gonna back off, though. Can't really do it before the outpost is reached. Things getting aggressive now. Wam putting the pressure on. Mista not yet in the Feudal Age. 6 minutes on the clock. And it's because of the wheelbarrow, I suspect. Villagers, 6 of them on gold for Wam. Looking to get a fast castle behind this, I suspect. And arch range going down as well for the Feudal Age pressure extra. Outpost will be coming out now for Wam, targeting that forward Ovu. We talked about this in the map generation. Having the Ovu so close to you for Wam is such a bonus. Now that outpost will go up. That will be denied, so Mista won't be able to double produce. That is huge because, well, Wam can. He can safely double produce his army using the stone. And frankly, this Ovu is kind of useless now for him. Barracks goes down relatively close to the base because you can't put it near the Ovu. It would get sniped. Wam, looking to be the aggressor here, is going to siege down that Ovu with the torches. And Mista in a spot of bother there, has to be said. He's had to be defensive. Getting an outpost there on the gold. Will not want to have that denied. Gets the gold denied, then it's probably GG. That Ovu will go down. And you get the feeling that Wam is definitely on the ascendancy here. Wam going to send 2 more villagers. Actually, these are archers. They're going to send 2 archers there, looking to get some damage here. 4 horsemen on the field. Outpost will be up in time for Mista to add some protection. Aristotle's coming on this outpost where the shoreline is, but the issue is that these villagers having to venture out away from the outpost to gather that shorefish, and another outpost is going to be going down for Wam. It feels difficult for the Mista to deny this, because Aristotle's will be coming in the first initial outpost. I mean, if you're the Mista, how do you deny this? Getting the hardened spearman upgrade, that's not going to be enough, because there will be archers following this up. I feel like that's the big issue. Villager here are trying to run away, but 2 archers, they're going to snipe them. Spearman there as well, trying to brace against nothing. This villager will be going down, taken out by 2 archers hiding in the stealth forest. Things going from bad to worse for the Mista. Game number 2 for the grand finals. Another outpost will be possibly denied, but probably not, because the Aristots in this outpost will look to fire on that spearman if it gets anywhere close. And now the 4 archers there will be able to protect this villager. The second outpost will be going up, you feel, for Wam. That's going to be a strong foothold. Mista slowly being strangled in his base. Really gathering map control Wam here with the outposts. Villager going out on the right side for the... I'm not entirely sure what, actually. Maybe, I'm not sure what's going on here. Villager running around. Probably a bad waypoint by accident. Another outpost going for Wam. Wam could just continue to build outposts and just strangle and put on the pressure. I think Mista's in a tough spot, and I think he knows it as well. 27 villagers for the Mista, 29 for Wam. That 2 village difference right from the beginning of the game. And now you get the feeling that, well, I mean, the one thing that's in positive for the Mista, he's probably a bit closer to the castle age than Wam is, because Wam is obviously committed with a bit more army. Alright, Wam piling on the pressure with another outpost. Wam piling on the pressure. Aristots will be coming in that 3rd outpost. Horseman work garrison in. He's going to garrison in the forward one whilst the Aristots come in. Wam paying attention to the small details. It is the small details that wins games. This villager going around maybe for a sneak. I'm not sure what she is up to. She's up to no good, it seems. Mista under a lot of pressure here with the archers. Taking out villagers there as well on that fish. Holy smokes. Mista hasn't realised. He's going to lose another one. 28 villagers, 27 for Mista, 32 for Wam. In a mirror match like this is very significant. That villager making a long way around the forest. You need to keep an eye on her, that's for sure. There is the age up for the Mista. What's he going to go up with? See it there, the step redoubt. Kind of expected. But the issue is that Wam is slowly inching forward. And he will be going up with the step redoubt as well. And I think Wam will possibly get there quicker, actually. Yeah, Wam is close to that castle age, and this is the issue for Mista. He's pigeoned in. He's going to get to the castle age later. Building with less villagers as well. Villager there, going to build that over. That's what that villager was up to. I had an exposed area there, to be fair. I'm not sure why I didn't build it there. It's rather aggressive there. Maybe to get, yeah, okay, get some production builders. Going to get some raiding here. I think Mista trying something extravagant. He needs to. He is behind. He's got to try something special. Get something out of the bag here. Wam looking to get a second game in the set, and if he can, that will put him in a great position. There's that castle age. Mista is going to get to castle age shortly after, but again, this gives the lead time for Wam to produce those units, and he's going for stables. He's going to double produce those knights. Those lancers are going to be popping out relatively soon, and if this gets discovered, that's going to be the issue for Mista. If that gets discovered, and it might just be discovered because it's so close to Wam's base. Mista still far away. Building with 6 villagers. About a minute difference, I think, from the castle age timings. Blacksmith will be going down for the upgrades. Difficult one to call here because Mista, I mean, he's just behind. That's what it is. He's going to need a good engagement, a good fight to push this back. A new age begins. Mista does get to the castle age. Those 2 lancers for Wam heading forward now. Looking to snipe some villagers, do some damage. And he calls it. Mista calls it. I'm not sure why, but he just realizes he's far behind. I think he just wants to move on to the next game. He knows behind in a mirror match. Villagers behind. Castle age up behind. Wam gets the second game of the set. We're going to be having game 3 really really soon. Don't go anywhere. Mista needs a response, that's for sure. In the grand final, he's 2-0 down. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 between Wam and Mista. The grand final for the Road to Red Bull Wololo June monthly. The map is Highview, and in the north corner of the map, we've got Wam playing in blue as the French. In the southwest corner of the map in red, we've got Delhi being played by the Mista in red. Interesting Civ matchup actually. The French can be relatively strong in feudal age, but Delhi are no slouch as well. Delhi often look to extend their feudal age with the quest to get access to those sacred sites. And of course those sacred sites will be imperative for the Delhi Sultanate to get up to the castle age, because often they have a limited villages on gold. And I mean, obviously you can play the game with the Delhi Sultanate, not necessarily going for the sacred sites, but you want to kind of take advantage of that civilization kind of direction and bonus that they get with Sanctity, which enables the Delhi Sultanate and the scholars to capture sacred sites before the castle age, and sacred sites generating 50% more gold. But the French will look to deny that. The French are incredibly strong in feudal age, they're renowned and known for that, and they also have a really strong economy, gathering passive bonuses with cheaper drop-off points, including mining camps, mills, you name it. Also, their town centers run faster, so for a significant portion of the game they will be having more villagers, but the Delhi Sultanate are able to research technologies for absolutely free. As you can see, wheelbarrow queued up, survival techniques, efficient production, and piety. Now, as I was saying at the beginning of this game, Delhi Sultanate are no slouch when it comes to the feudal age, and that's because of efficient production. This allows scholars to garrison in military buildings, boosting production speed by 100%. You effectively get 2 for 1 on that production building, saving about 150 odd wood, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be useful, and in terms of just speed of production, it really helps pump out those units. 3 villagers on gold, 8 on food for Wam at the moment, looking to get that fast feudal age time. Pretty standard build for the French, maybe getting an early knight out there, a royal knight, to harass this gold line, which is relatively far forward for the Mista. Not ideal positioning. As we said, this berry patch is actually a nice spot between 2 wood lines, although it's actually going to be pretty difficult to wall this up here. Possibly just a wall up there. It's not ideal though, and the wall up there might help him protect that economy. Shouldn't be too much of a wood investment, but we shall see if he decides to do that. Mista, renowned to be relatively aggressive, as we saw in the last 2 games in fact. First, I mean, he's been a bit unlucky, I feel, the Mista. Losing the first game, he had a lot of raiding, just didn't notice that his woodline was being attacked, his berry patches were being attacked. He didn't have textiles in that first game, and that was really the reason for why he lost that game. Second game, he was just a bit behind at most of the stages against Wam and the Mongols' Mirror. Hard to come back from that position. Dome of the Faith is the landmark of choice again for the Delhi Sultanate. No Tower of Victory, I'm afraid. School of Cavalry, as expected for the French. Quite a nice map spawn here actually, because whilst the map is relatively open, the berries and the gold being close by means that 2 outposts there, maybe 1 outpost, can actually offer a lot of protection there. But as the French, you're relatively certain to be aggressive and have map control in the early feudal age because of the Royal Knight. It's very rare that anyone pushes the French back in the early game. It's more usually the opponent having to defend against those knights. Mista almost up to the next stage, but it will be behind Wam. So Wam getting to the next stage quicker, we'll be able to pump out a knight and harass these gold villagers potentially. Cutting off the gold supply to be able to produce scholars, which is essentially the underbelly of the civilization, to reduce the research times it takes for the upgrades. Righty, we shall see what Mista places down in terms of production buildings. Probably will need a barracks relatively quickly, can't afford it yet, doesn't have enough wood. Certainly will need a barracks because I suspect early knights or royal knights will be queued up. There we are, there's one queued up for Wam. Going to take around about 30 seconds to produce, but when it does, he'll be charging across the map. There's that barracks that we're talking about for Mista. Suspect a spearman will be coming out relatively soon. There's the age up, a new age begins for the Mista and the Delhi Sultanate. And now we see the new upgrades being queued up. Actually, we don't yet. I'm sure he will be clicking that relatively soon. I hope he will. Yep, there's the gold mining upgrade, there's double broad axe, and there's horticulture. Fascinating that he's going for survival techniques instead of horticulture first. Especially because he's not actually going for hunted meat here. There's Piety coming in, adding some tankiness to those scholars. The spearmen will be coming out, looking to prioritize defending against the knights from the berries. 2 scouts there on the front line for the gold. We don't quite yet see that knight. There it is. Accompanied by the scout. This is quite a nice touch, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye on this if you're a player of Age of Empires 4. You can learn a thing or two because the scout has much more significant line of sight than the knight. In fact, the knight is relatively blind, all things considered. Doesn't see very much into the... We'll just compare the two, actually. We'll compare the two. Look at the line of sight. Well, I think it's a spectator bug there, but anyway. Yeah, we see the knight looking to raid, gets a charge attack on the village on wood, doesn't manage to take it out though, no blacksmith with the bloomery yet. And the knight will put away though, just looking to idle the economy a little bit, 2 spearmen there. Knight getting a charge attack on the scout, looking to harass the villagers on gold as well. We'll be getting a couple of hits there. Alrighty, hopefully not too many more interruptions. That shouldn't be the case. Anyway, we've got Delhi Sultanate pushing forward with a couple of spearmen looking to protect that gold mine. And on the left side, scouts looking to just keep an eye on those knights. It's really important to keep the vision on those knights to see exactly where they are headed. And Wam looking to backtrack that knight now. And Mista looks like he's held off the initial assault from the French. And it's always important to survive without too many losses, too much idle time with the first initial attack from the French. But to back this up, we see an archer range going down for Wam and possibly a second town centre. That's exactly what's going to happen. 300 stone in the bag. Going for a town centre relatively far forward. Hang on a minute. It's a bit of a weird position. There aren't really that much in terms of natural resources here for this town centre. I'm not entirely sure why it's putting a town centre here. It's a little bit awkward. It's next to Sacred Site. This is something we don't really often see. Very aggressive with the French as well. That second town centre, the forward position. Stable coming up for the Mista. Looks like it's going to be stable and hardened spearman army composition, but this is super surprising. This is not something we've seen before, ladies and gentlemen. Something showcased new here today with the French. For Wam, a forward town centre on that Sacred Site, looking to protect that position. Now, town centre is pretty good at protecting things, but usually you put the town centre near a resource. It is relatively close to the deer, but he's going to have to mill that anyway, so it's more for map control and positioning here. Super interesting play by Wam. Has to be said, a lot of spearmen on the field here for the Mista, making sure that he's not going to lose any more villagers to knights. But that's super interesting. He's going to be sending the villagers back towards those deer and that food from the new town centre, but ladies and gentlemen, don't think we've seen that before. Alright, blacksmith will be going down, and that will unlock bloomery for the French as a free upgrade that they get for getting the blacksmith. As soon as that's built, bloomery will be in place for Wam. Yep, as you can see there on the bottom right, bloomery completed. That's going to make the knights even more tanky, and well, actually not tanky, but more adept at dealing out damage. Speaking of damage, those spearmen really take out that knight and looking to get the left side of the Sacred Site. Now, with our archers here, spearmen will be definitely enough to keep control of this situation, but we did see an archer range there, and that's what we're seeing coming forward now. Archers starting to build up in numbers, just 2 so far, but that'll I'm sure multiply as time goes on. And that left Sacred Site is being protected by the spearman, and the scholar has been sandwiched in. Now this is really interesting what Mist is doing. He's very purposefully keeping the spearman right around the scholar, not letting any opportunity for that charge attack from the knight to take that out. It's such a nice nuanced point here to think about. But 2 of the spearmen do get out of position. This could be an opportunity for the knight to now charge. Scholar is now... Oh god, this is what we're talking about. The charge attacks going there. Wam notices the situation. And sure, the knight might take some hits, but it is a royal knight and will be able to look to take some damage. Good micro there. Holy smokes, Mista manages the micro there and keeps the scholar alive. Hardened spearman upgrade. All planned there, of course. I bet Mista just debated them. Made him think he could get the kill, but didn't in the end. Alrighty, that Sacred Site now has been captured by the Mista. That's going to be a nice amount of gold input there, maybe to help him get to the castle age, but villager count is going to be pretty high for Wam at the moment. The French, 44 villagers versus 30. That's a 14 economical lead. That's going to tell itself, and it's going to show itself and translate it into more military as the game goes on. Now looking to put some palisade walls to protect that sacred site. That's in the corner of the map there. Steel arrow in place for Wam now. Those archers are going to be pretty good at killing those spearmen. But we will see some horsemen on the field for the Mista. That will become a challenge for Wam to deal with as well, but he does have his Royal Knights, which will be more than equipped to deal with that pressure. Archers and Spearmen look to just protect the secondary TC spot. Doesn't want to move out too quickly. Again, Wam's probably quite happy with the situation of this game. He knows he's on 2 town centres, and he knows that the longer this game goes, he will definitely be having a big power spike when he does eventually get to the Castle Age, as long as he's got the economy behind that. What he does have to be worried about or concerned about is the Delhi Sultanate overwhelming in Feudal Age, which could become a possibility, but it is a time-related issue. It does need to be done soon. An outpost there on that deer patch, garrisoning in. Not sure Mista has enough of those horsemen to torch that down. Does back off now. And the knights on the front line, on that gold mine, going to be denying those villagers. The gold is an issue. That villager getting caught out, destined to take the berries, but will be dying to the charge attacks. The knights, oh, actually, he survives. He survives. The knight's being pulled back, doesn't want to engage the spears. And back on gold again for the Delhi Sultanate villagers. Ooh, a couple of horsemen there looking to raid the gold mine there for Wam. Villagers do garrison inside the town centre. 11 of them will be firing off at these horsemen. But I suspect he probably has iron undermesh. Let's take a look. Must do really with the Delhi Sultan. You get the upgrades for free, so why not? Yep, he does indeed. He's going up to the Castle Age with the House of Learning. Will be a nice Castle Age time. Wam not particularly close, but if Wam just stops production for a few minutes, you'll certainly get there with 57 villagers, lots of spearmen, archers, and a couple of knights on the field. Things are looking good for the French. Despite the Castle Age timing for the Mista, I don't think Wam will be too phased by that because, as I say, just cease production for a little bit. He's got a lot of military on the field anyway. 27 for Wam, 22 for Mista, and I'm sure he'll be getting to the Castle Age relatively soon. A horseman does go down to that outpost. Nice protection for those villagers on the deer patch. Wam playing certainly the slower economical approach. That ball does look like it's ball. Yeah, it is actually a ball. So I think he TC'd that position as well because it's relatively close to the ball. There is the Castle Age for Mista. Look at those spearmen in defense. But now the pressure is on for Mista to do some damage. And as we see the Castle Age going for Delhi Sultanate, Wam immediately decides to drop some walls to protect his economy from raiding. And this is something we see the pro players doing quite often. You know, when your opponent goes to the next stage, it gives you some signals. If you're the one lagging behind, usually we see a lot of the pro players start to wall up. You know, you don't want to be raided to death by units that are in the Castle Age. And the other alternative is that you could actually end up piling on the pressure, especially if you're on one town centre. In this scenario, I think Wam is going to be playing more defensive because he does have that economical advantage with the 2 town centres. Scholar looking to be sniped there, doesn't quite manage it, but the charge attack from the Knights will certainly take that out. It wasn't even the charge attack in the end, it was just a swipe of the sword. Knights swinging around the right side for Wam, looking to push this back, but there are 3 spearmen. Charge attack goes off, but the 3 spearmen will be taking out this Knight. Not a cost-effective trade for Wam. Pulls back though in time without losing the unit. Yeah, and another Knight looking to sweep around on the left. We can just see Wam being really useful with his units. He's constantly raiding, looking at different angles of attack, and keeping Mista on kind of the defensive, but also needing to pay attention. Mista trying to pick up some of the relics, but not being able to. Wam looking good at denying those relics and those key points and on the map. There is the age up nearly ready for Wam. We shall see what it goes up with. Would it be the Royal Institute? And it is indeed the Royal Institute. So behind this 2 town centre boom, Wam is looking to be aggressive in the Castle Age, and this strategy looks like it's going to be working out because the Delhi Sultanate struggling to get hold of the other sacred sites, struggling to do damage economically. Walling up here, a lot of the map there, Wam getting the map control that he needs and the security that he needs. Archers in behind. Now the archers' numbers starting to really build up. They're going to be sniping some of the hardened spearmen. Not enough military here for Mista. New age begins for the French. Gets to the Castle Age. Immediately pulls back those villagers that are being harassed on the gold line by 2 horsemen. Pushes them back out again. Quite a significant number of them. 13 to be exact. Now we see some elephants on the field. Mista has been in the Castle Age for quite some time. Has been looking to get those free upgrades. Oh no, he's missed it. He's actually forgotten about the upgrades. This sometimes happens to players. He's forgot about lumber preservation. He's forgotten about the mill upgrades. Fertilization, this is such a... this happens even at the pro level. You can see the gold mining upgrade not being taken in. He's been in castle for a long period of time as well. On the right side, those two horsemen do go down to a group of spearmen there. And now 2 knights there for Wam. Looking to raid the wood line there. Mista not reacting. He's going to lose at least 2 villagers. Maybe just the 1 actually. Might be able to sneak another one. Nope, doesn't quite manage it. The knights pull away. Good value here for Wam. Let's take a look at the numbers. Wam at 84 villagers, 43 for Mista. You feel like there's no real way back here for Mista with this kind of economic advantage. And there's the GG. Mista realizes he's so far behind. He calls it, and I don't know what was the last straw. Was it a raid or not? I'm not entirely sure, but Mista recognizes behind. He sees the bigger picture as just as we did, and it'll be going for a game number 3 now. The next game will game number 4 rather. Wam getting another point on the board. 3 games to 0. Mista needs a response. Wam getting a lot of control of this series. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 4 between Wam and Mista. Mista in a tough spot here. He's gone down 3-0. This is the match point for Wam. Mista needs a response. He needs to win this next game to even have a chance to win this set. He's going to need a reverse sweep. 4 games in a row is what Mista needs. Will he be able to do it? If he does, that will be an incredible set. But it's a tall order, it's a tough ask against the player of Wam's quality. Speaking of Wam, he's playing on the north corner of the map in blue as the Holy Roman Empire. In the southeast corner, we've got Mista, who's got an uphill struggle at the moment, playing in red as the Holy Roman Empire as well. It's going to be a mirror match on Danuba River. Now, this civilization very commonly used on Danuba River, primarily because Danuba River is one of those maps that you can have a bit of free time in terms of booming up and getting your economy rolling. And well, the Holy Roman Empire is very much about economy. We see some fishing going up for Wam. We see the same for the Mista, looking to get that fishing economy nice and early. Villagers going heavily on wood to be able to fund that. So we hope that we do get another game out of this. But Mista needs to put on the pressure. He needs to win this game. Wam has got a couple of games that he can win before. He just needs 1 more. That's what it comes down to. There's 4 more potential games in the set. Wam only needs to win 1 of them to see himself crowned as the champion for Pool 2 for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy June finals. Will he be able to do it? A villager going out forward for Mista, looking to maybe drop that gold mine. It's idled at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think he put a waypoint from his town centre and never really tasked the villager to do something. Predator, inspiring those villagers, hanging out in between the wood line and the food villagers on sheep there. And now Wam is going out to gold as well. 6 villagers on wood for Wam. 5 for the Mista. 2 fishing ships out for the Mista. Wam has 2 as well. So relatively even at the point. But things may start to deviate. We'll see how these guys change their plans. One thing that has to be brought into consideration is that Holy Roman Empire does have a very strong fast castle. But they can sometimes have a little bit of variation with going a bit more aggressive. Maybe with the Burger of Palace. I'm not sure how I feel about that play generally on a Holy Roman Empire mirror match. Especially when you've got the Regnus Cathedral and the amount of gold that it can give. You really have to be aggressive with a landmark like the Burger of Palace. Quite a few sheep there for the Mista. Of course, we'll be relying on the fishing ship Eco for now. Walls going up for Wam, looking to get that aggressive actually. He might be able to get the walls up. If the Mista can deny that, that would be useful. In fact, I think he won't be able to because Wam's actually done the palisades and he's put the foundations down and then moved on. So he does have some security here, some map control. We see the scouts from Wam just harassing the villagers, but Mista not taking any chances, bringing the weak villagers at home. Mista sending a scout of his own and the prelate as well to heal up the villagers. But this is quite key because now the prelate is not inspiring the villagers. It means that the economy won't be as strong. There's a weak villager there. Weak villager going to be pulled back, I suspect. Those 2 scouts just being annoying there. I think the Mista's only got 1 scout. Let's just double check that. No, he does have 2, but the other one's out of position comparatively. He's not really where he wants him to be. Bringing lots of sheep though. compensation. 3 villages on gold now for the Mista. There's the dong for the next stage. Probably will be the Arkan Chapel. It is indeed going to be supervising or inspiring the villagers on the sheep and on the gold. Although not so much. Just about maybe when the villager drops off, but not sure. We need to keep an eye on that one. 2 villages on gold though. Scouts being very annoying there for Wam. 6 fishing ships for Wam. 5 for the Mista. So Wam's economy looking stronger here. He's also going up with the Arkan Chapel. No surprises there really. And he does have the wood covered, the food covered. And also the gold is going to be okay when he drops off, I suspect. Could be in for a long one, ladies and gentlemen. Danuba River can be quite stalematy, especially on a mirror matchup like this. But Mista needs to get the win. He desperately needs it, otherwise he will be down and out in this grand final. Prelate being brought back to the town centre for the Mista, looking to inspire those food villagers. Barracks going down for the Mista. Maybe looking to get some man-at-arms on the field, maybe some spearmen if he's worried about horsemen. But walls going up for Wam. Wam looking to delay this game, play the long game, and get some map control with the walls. Does get the walls up. Probably won't lose a villager. Now, this is pretty important because if he does get to the castle age relatively quickly, he will be able to get the sacred site. Got full control of that position. And also, what's really key is that, well, this wall is actually in front of the bridge. And it means that actually Mista doesn't have a way onto that central island other than going through with a transport ship. He might be able to go across the map still through this opening here. But I suspect Wam might be sending some villagers to wall that up as well. Wam does now get to the next stage with the Arkan Chapel, putting down the barracks himself. There's the feudal age for the Mista. Things starting to speed up a little bit. 6.5 minutes on the clock. 2 scouts there hanging out for the Mista on that relic. Villager going forward for Wam. He is very low on health, has to be said. Could be sniped, but the scouts does back. They do go back. It's going to spot the villager. I think that villager's going to be dead. It is indeed. Fortunately for Wam, we'll be losing that villager. Won't get the walls up in time. Despite bringing them back, that's a long way to walk back. He's actually going to get the foundations down. Will he be able to get all of them down? We shall see. I don't think so. 2 HP won't be able to. No, Mista denying it. And the walls are denied. Means that there might be a change of plan for Wam. Scouts being annoying. Spearmen on the field though. Alright, let's take a look at the resources. Wam got a decent amount of food though with that fishing eco. We saw he actually had more fishing ships than the Mista, so he probably will be up to the next stage quicker. Actually, I take that back. Mista's fishing eco really bolstered there for a second there. Yeah, he is getting a transport ship as well, walling up as well, but Wam will see that. Wam will actually see that. Oh no, he won't. I thought he might. You don't actually get much line of sight on the walls, holy moly. I thought the walls would give it away, but they don't. There's the Regnus Cathedral going up for Mista, looking to get some relics. We'll be able to get this one. Most likely. That's one that's closest to him. And the walls that are down there for Wam have done a great job here because there is a relic there. Prelate looking to pick that up. Ready and waiting. And a relic on this side as well. But what has to be said, there are scouts on the other side of that wall. That wall not really achieving what it set out to do because of this area here. Spearman there for the Mista, looking to defend that position. There is a scout there for Wam. I think another villager maybe looking to go through. There's a spearman and a man-at-arms. No villager sent out yet to complete that wall. There's the transport ship. Mista looking to try and snag that relic. He might just do it. There's a scout there. This is a great play by the Mista. Scout looking to push away that prelate. And Mista's going to snag this one. He needs to get closer though. He's hiding out in the stealth forest. He's not up to the next stage just yet. He will be there before Wam could even pick up the relics. There is a man-at-arms and a spearman. They look to protect that relic there, I suspect, or maybe just go forward. There is that castle age. He's going to run forward with the prelate now and snag that relic. This is a nice play by the Mista. Very good. He's going to be denying that relic for Wam. But more importantly, he'll be picking that relic up, bringing it home, depositing it, and getting that gold. Transport ship. Another prelate going across the map. Well, this is great play by the Mista. Whilst Wam might have the walls, the Mista has transport ships. Oh, Wam looking to try and snag this one. Prelate does go out for the Mista, but there is a spearman there. Oh, will the Mista notice it? He doesn't notice it. That's an issue. So Wam does pick up a relic from the just under the noses of the red prelate there. Mista looking to deny those walls desperately with those 2 spears. And the prelates are going to cross paths. Yeah, Mista looking to transport ship across that prelate. 3 of them. 2 relics there. Nice play by Mista to secure 2 relics. Spearman will be dying to the man-at-arms there for Wam. We hit another relic being picked up, but not entirely sure who it's with. Mista looking to get a wololo on... Wam trying to get the wololo with that Spearman. There is man-at-arms there as well, so it looks like Mista will be struggling there, although Mista could be able to heal up his Spearman. Won't get there in time with the Prelate. Prelate looking to sweep around on the left side, but there are man-at-arms there for Wam. It's definitely a relic fight here at this stage. Wam going for the deer. Let's take a look at the villager count. That could tell a story. 39 for Wam, 38 for Mista. Pretty much neck and neck. Mista does look to pick up the relic, but will be sniped down by the man-at-arms. Won't be able to survive, and there is a prelate there for Wam to pick up that relic as soon as it's put down, and also a lancer, or a knight rather. Knight's going to be important there. Adds a lot of mobility to the army. Relics being picked up now. Wam will bring that one back home nice and safely. There is 1 deposited there in the Regnant's Cathedral for Wam. Same could be said for the Mista. In fact, he has 2. So Mista will be having a better gold economy for now, at least. Maybe thinking about that fast Imperial Age. It could be a fast Imperial Age. He's certainly banking up the food and gold. Both players not really committing to the Castle Age in terms of units, and that's kind of expected in the Holy Roman Empire mirror match here. So we are going to go to the Imperial Age, probably the Palace of Swabia. Looks like the Mista's going to get there closer sooner. But what has to be said is Wam is lacking the food, rather surprisingly. I'm not sure if he's investing a lot here. What's he invested the food into? Can't quite tell. I think it's the man-at-arms perhaps, and the lancer. Yeah, it is. It's the knights. I think he's just producing more military on the field there, Wam. And that means does force Mista to spend some more food though. Get some defenses up. Yep, lancers, knights are being produced by the Mista for the Holy Roman Empire. Alright, will we see a monastery being built for the Mista? Does he have more than 2 relics? Doesn't appear so, actually. Only 2 relics for the Mista so far. There is that second relic garrisoned in for Wam. Bit of a fight here on the woodline. Wam looking to get some raiding here on the woodline. Doesn't quite manage to get too much value. Spearman there as well for good measure. Villagers being brought out again by the Mista. Quite a few spearmen to protect that gold, but Mista having 900 gold in the bank. Looking strong on that front. Economy just seems to be a bit better for the Mista. At least in numbers wise. 45 villagers for Wam. 44 for the Mista. I'm not entirely sure why he has more food. I suspect it's just units he's not producing as much of. Because he only has 5 fishing ships. There are 2 knights there on the field in the corner on the right there for Mista. Looking to push these 2 back from Wam. Alrighty, there's that 3rd relic in for Wam. Yeah, Mista stuck with 2. Wam's got 3. Mista spending his gold actually, so now Wam has the gold advantage. Going to run in with 3 knights. There's only 1 spearman and 2 knights there. 2 spearmen now. Another is added to the mix. That spearman gets sniped. Wam starting to build up a bit of a force on the outskirts of Mista's base. Forcing Mista to spend more resources in spearmen for static defenses, just protecting those villagers. Oh, there's a Hulk here coming out for Wam, looking to snipe the fish for the Mista. Mista's about to lose his fish economy. Oh, Central Sacred Site now being taken by Wam. That's going to be a nice gold trickle for him. Fishing ships looking to dock. Go to the dock, garrison inside. The weak one doesn't actually garrison there for the Mista. Might lose another one. Knights looking to just torch down that wall and break through. And I think Wam's going up to the Imperial Age. He is indeed. I suspect it's the Palace of Swabia. It is indeed going near the berries there. And looks like Wam's going to get to the Imperial Age first. But probably won't be too far behind the Mista. Just needs to stop producing knights for a little bit. And then we'll have enough gold, I suspect. Quite a lot of knights there on the field, though. This could be a signal, though. Mista might go full on Castle Age. Looking to pile on the pressure. We shall see. Gets a good charge attack on that knight. Good micro there for the Mista. Going for Spearman as well. This is looking good. He's got Veteran Spearman. He's actually upgraded his units quite significantly. Wam does get to the Imperial Age. Going for a second dock there, the Mista. On the right side, that wall is going to be breached very soon. And there is now a transport ship under fire from the Hulk. This is going to be an issue that the Mista's going to need to address, otherwise there could be a flood of units. But Wam is going to be spending a little bit of time building up that economy. Let's take a look at the village count. 48 for the Mista, 53 now for Wam. I'm sure that's going to be widening as a gap. Wam is now walled up this side, looking to get hold of the sacred site actually. Possibly, the wolf. Oh my god, the villager's not fighting back. Unfortunately, it's going to be bitten to death. There is the death of that villager. Doesn't get the spear out in time. Dies a horrible death to the wolf. And now the Mista looking to pile on some pressure, looking to torch down that gate and break through. Wam does break through the walls. Those knights. I'm not sure where they went. Mista going forward with some villagers. Not entirely sure where they're going to the berries there on the front line. Spearmen and knights there for the Mista. Now starting to put on the pressure. 25 military for Wam. 33 for the Mista. I think Mista is putting the pressure on. He is sticking it out in the castle age. Looking to put the castle age pressure on. Mista needs to get some value here because he is 3 games down. He needs to win this game to have a chance to progress. And there's quite a few knights here for Wam. Mista needs to be careful here because he might lose a lot of gold villagers here if he's not careful. One spearman looking to do a hero's job. Does take one... No, he doesn't manage to. Doesn't manage to take down a knight. It's going to lose some villagers in the gold. Mista not paying attention here. Not taking the gold villagers back. This is a problem for him, that's for sure. The knight's going to get huge value. A couple of knights there coming out for Mista to try and protect, but not going to be enough. 3 knights there on the field does so much damage. You see a massacred group of villagers there. Walls go up in time for Wam. Mista going to look to pressure this though. He's got a lot of spearmen there on the front line, sending knights again across. Piling on the pressure. The knights will go down for Wam now. Now Mista needs to concentrate on being aggressive here. He needs to push forward. May need to get some siege on the field because I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it with just units here. Don't forget, raiding the Holy Roman Empire is not usually a win condition, but it could be because of the Palace of Swabi just produces so many so quickly. A defensive keep going out for Wam. Certainly the right play, but will it go up? I'm not so sure. Mista has a lot of army here. Has spearmen. A lot of army here. The villagers are going to be going down on that keep. I think Wam's going to be in a lot of trouble here. He's going to lose villagers. Even though he has Palace of Swabi, lots of them are going to go down. 54 villagers for Wam. 46 for the Mista. Imperial Age not helping Wam too much here. Not being able to keep the villager count. That keep is not going to be going up anytime soon. Mista piling on the pressure. The military numbers here huge. Villagers trying to garrison in the outposts. Sorry, the town centre. Still looking to produce villagers there on the wood line. Wololo going there, trying it there with the prelate. Mista pulls out. He will lose 1 spear, but no, he won't because it gets killed. Knights still pressuring on there. A couple of lance connector for Wam, and this is an issue. Wam is completely idled here. Quite a few villagers idled, 20 of them. Only has 56 to begin with. Mista has so many more villagers, so many villagers going down on that stone mine, I believe. Villagers going down left, right and centre. Gold mine empty. Wood line empty. Villagers garrisoned. Wam is losing control of this game. Mista is piling on the pressure in Castle Age. This might be his way back into the series. He's 3-0 down, but might be pulling one back. The keep does get deleted. Wam under huge pressure. Only 39 villagers. 19 of them idled. Mista has the economy lead, and I think Wam's going to realise this pretty soon. 17 minutes on the clock, but Wam not giving this game up yet. He's desperate to see out this set. But there's so many knights flooding in. These guys getting tickled by the town centre fire. Maybe it won't just be siege actually. Maybe he doesn't need siege. He can raid them to death. I take it back. Mista showing us how it's done, how you can raid a civilization like the Holy Roman Empire to death as long as you just keep up the unit numbers, and that's exactly what Mista's doing. He's flooding here. He's absolutely flooding with the knights. And he's looking to torch down the Regnant's Cathedral, and if he does that, he's going to cut off the gold supply. I think Wam is in a spot of bother here. Only 40 villagers to 50. Half of the economy, well, more than half the economy being idled here. Mista going to be able to double down. This is going to snowball. Wam looking to wall this up, but that'll only keep him out and safe for not very long, actually, to be honest. There's a wololo going on there on the west side, on the north side, actually. Doesn't get too much value. The prelate gets sniped. Now, yeah, looks like Mista's going to try and siege down that Regnant's Cathedral, just brute forcing it with the knights, absolute brute forcing it. I think Wam's going to be under trouble here. I think he's going to have to call it. Doesn't seem like there's a way back here, even with the Palace of Swabia. He's holding on, though. The numbers are just overwhelming here, hugely overwhelming. And if you're Mista, you smell blood in the water there. 16 knights, 2 spearmen, now going to start torching down the town centre that started it all. 19 minutes on the clock. Wam struggling here. He does have a couple of units still there, a couple of Lance Connector and Knights, but still not enough here. Mista going to take a cost-effective trade here, that's for sure. Wam struggling to push this back. Knights still there, fighting underneath the town centre. He won't mind. 2 halts there do clear up the fishing economy for Mista, but I don't think he minds. He's already transitioned to farming economy anyway. Has the Regnant's Cathedral with 2 gold generating relics. Mista, Knights numbers have been dwindled a little bit. Only 6 of them spearmen, but he's kept the economy idled for so long. So much value to be had here. 24 villages idled by this Knight mass, and if you're Mista, you're wondering, just need to keep on the pressure. The walls do go up for Wam. That'll buy him some time, but it won't be enough because there's another 12 Knights ready to dive in. Wam under so much pressure. He does clear up the Knights. Villagers might start to ungarrison for a significant period of time. These guys have been on holiday. Relics being brought back into the monastery that still exists. But now Wam needs to start off the rebuilding process. The problem is that Mista has Knights again. He's going to raid in again with a good 14 Knights. 20 military on the map for Mista. 15 for Wam. I don't even see where they are. All scattered around, being pulled left, right and centre. Just not enough of them. Wam going to struggle again. The Knight's going to dive in again. Wololo going in. Mista needs to get out of there. If he does, then he should see out the game. The Wololo doesn't come off. Mista now going to snipe that Prelate, I suspect. And he's just going to dive again. They're going to keep the eco idle. 11 villages, 10 villages, 21 in total idle. That woodland completely exposed. The Prelate does garrison the gold and the relic, but I mean, it feels like it's too little too late here. Wham, losing the villages on the woodline now. Not able to get the outpost. This is a problem. Going to lose villages. I think he does have textiles though. That will be something in his favour, but the village count dwindling here. 53 villages for Wam, 57 for Mista. The Palace of Swabia maintaining the even numbers of villages between them, but these guys are completely idled. 20, 30 villages idled. Mista piling on the pressure. Wam not able to hold on, you suspect, in this game. Knights again killing villagers just as they come out of the Palace of Swabia. Keeping on the pressure, you just feel like Wam can't breathe here. Mista looking to dive that town centre, taking out Knights as they pop out. So many villagers idled, and I think you get the feeling it's just a matter of time before Wam pulls out. It's got to be. Oh my god, it's got a demo ship! Holy smokes! Wam almost detonated, but he doesn't get there. Mista gets up to the Imperial Age, and I think Wam knows that's the end of it. He does. He taps out. Mista pulls one back. 3-1 on the set. Mista has a lifeline. He may have a way back into the set. He may he pull up one of the biggest changes in the direction of a set in Age of Empires 4 history. Stick around, game number 5 coming right up. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with game number 5 between Wam and Mista. Mista pulling one back, bringing the score 3-1 to Wam. Wam still on match point. If he still wins this game, then he will be winning the set and securing his golden ticket, the main event, Red Bull Wololo Legacy in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. We've got Wam playing in the southeast corner of the map, in blue as the Abbasid Dynasty, and in the northwest corner of the map, we have got the Mista in red, also as the Abbasid Dynasty. It's the good old Abbasid Dynasty mirror matchup, and Mista needs to get a win again. He needs to complete that reverse sweep to book his place into the main event, but will he be able to do it? Wam just needs one more win, really, to get to that event. The thing is Mista's walking a tightrope. He has to have perfect games, more or less, or at least he needs to win every single game out from here on in of the set. Wheelbarrow coming in for the Mista. No such thing yet for Wam, so we're going to be able to compare quite nicely the two builds, because of course they're both playing the Abbasid Dynasty. Looks like Wam's going to go for the earlier up tech for the feudal age with the House of Wisdom. Mista looking to delay things, but we'll be having a stronger economy with that wheelbarrow. A lot of sheep coming in there for Wam, with 2 scouts on the field as well. Let's have a look at Mista. Does he go for 2 scouts as well? Just the one, it seems. So I suspect Wam will be having the lion's share of the sheep. But it does mean that Mista has a bit more food, will help him get up to next stage a little bit quicker, but you kind of feel on the long-term side of things, the more sheep that come in for Wam, the better. Means that if he is under pressure, he'll have more sheep to fall back into to the town centre. course he's got his berries, but... Oh, hang on a minute. Hey, what's going on here? Wam is not even going for the berries. This is definitely a different build, so Wam is going super aggressive, not investing the wood in the mill at all for the berries. A very, very different build here. Wheelbarrow now is in place for Mista, going up with the House of Wisdom now. Wham, just about to attack up. He does that. He clicks the economic wing. Going to be getting fresh foodstuffs, making the villagers cost half the price. And Mista getting that landmark building up, House of Wisdom. Needs a bit more food, a bit more gold. But you just get the feeling Mista has a bit more of an eco-based approach. He's going to be having to chop stragglers though. Whereas of course, Wham's been a bit more efficient in terms of the wood department. Now he goes for the mill now that he can afford it and going to go out to berries. But what has to be said is that he's had to rely on sheep for now. Scouts there for Wham, harassing the villagers on gold. Seems to be a recurrent theme in these games between Wham and Mista. Villagers on gold being harassed. He has enough food now, the Mista. Needs a bit more gold though. The harassment's coming at the right time for Wham actually. He's going to delay the uptake a little bit. Not by much, but still every little bit helps. There is the drop off that seals the deal for his economic upgrade. Economic wing. Going for a second town centre it seems, the Mista. Building a mining camp there on the stone. The Abbasid Mirror sometimes does turn into a kind of a boom fest. Who can boom with more town centres? Looks like Wham getting a mining camp on the stone as well. So both players have the same end result with the 2 town centre play. Different routes to get there though. Wheelbarrow will be coming in for Wham. So Wham getting that late wheelbarrow, but it did have a bit more of an efficient wood chopping line. Mista going for the early wheelbarrow, but did have an inefficient wood chopping line for a period of time. That has been fixed. There's the feud lage for Wham. And the thing about Wham going up to the feud lage is that it means that he's going to get his upgrade for fresh foodstuffs quicker. And that means he's going to have his savings even quicker. So overall, I feel like Wham's approach might be a bit better. But the wheelbarrow does affect all the villagers that he's had since, well, even now, the villagers have wheelbarrow. It means that they can be pulled away from the scouts that are being attacking as well. So that certainly helps with things. Villagers there for Mista being harassed. Be interested to see if Mista actually sees the second town centre play. Doesn't appear like it. In fact, barely sees even where the town centre is. I think it's a spectator bug, to be honest. Wait. He doesn't actually see. Yeah, Mista's actually got no idea where his opponent is. Well, actually, he's got some idea. He'll probably be able to see that. Still, not ideal. Hasn't scouted much of his opponent. Just relying on most of his own economy back home and maybe pressure on later in the game. There is the feud lage for the Mista. Now going for fresh foodstuffs. As we have said, Wham already has fresh foodstuffs. And has been benefiting from the cheaper villagers. 25 food there, as you can see, instead of the original 25 food, 50 food cost. Almost going to be able to afford that second town centre as well. Villagers being pulled away for the Mista. Not actually having enough stone here. Oh, he has exactly 300. He pulls away now. Perfect balance. He's getting in a town centre on the forward berries and the gold. That's actually a really nice spot. He wants to keep access to the gold. That's for sure. And he's going to maintain a bit of control of the berries as well. Second town centre going on the right side for Wham. This is in a perfect spot. Holy moly. He's got berries, gold, and wood. He's got everything you could want in that second town centre. Wham looking strong in this situation here. Stable going down for the Mista. Horsemen going to be pumping out, I suspect. Scouts not going to be able to do enough damage to deny that second town centre. Don't forget, Mista can't afford any big mistakes. He needs to win this game. Will we see a pressure build up for him? And will he be able to handle it? I suspect he will. Mista seems to be a cool and calm customer. 6 villagers going forward, possibly to the gold. In fact, he's actually going for the berries there on the right side, relatively exposed. Needs to be careful. I think we've seen a theme that no textiles for Mista. That seems to be a theme that he doesn't tend to get that, and he did lose a couple of games because of that in the early stages of this set. Will he learn from that mistake? Will he get textiles this time? Yeah, let's take a look at the village count. 26 for Wam, 29 for the Mista. Villagers being harassed here. And Wam knows about this, so he's probably going to force the pressure here. Mista could afford an outpost there technically. We'd be interested to see if he invests in one. An archer range going down, double stable. Mista looking to be aggressive in feudal age. Horseman does pop out now. Going to save that villager. Scout has to back off. On the other hand, looks like a third town centre coming out for Wam. Wam playing the eco approach. This is quite nice for the Abbasid dynasty, of course. He's only going to be paying the price for effectively 1.5 town centres running. Mista only paying the price for one, because obviously you get 2 for 1 with fresh foodstuffs. Walling up here on the left side, protecting this economy, having a very nice safe berries there, and stone, and deer. The scout. Or Wam looking to deny that, or at least keep eyes on that. Villagers there for Mista rushing them down to that site. Gonna get the horsemen in to protect that area as well. These berries are relatively exposed. He's got to be careful about this position because these horsemen have been pulled over to the left side. Mista going for quite early brave expansions without TC protection. Wam on the other hand, making sure he keeps his villagers protected with town centres. Archer range, double stable. So Wam gonna match like for like against the Mista, except for the town centre. He has one advantage. Now, with how cheap the villagers are, 25 food, you just get the feeling Wam is onto something here on the Abbasid Dynasty mirror. We'll slowly see the villager count build up for him. 38 for the Mista, 37 for Wam. He's catching up, and he will be overtaking soon. Mista gonna cycle around with 3 horsemen. Gonna look at those deer patches and see if he can get some value. He's gonna notice the town centre though. If Wam garrisons, which he will. Oh, might lose a villager though. Yeah, loses a villager in the meantime. Maybe a second. Wam not reacting quick enough. He does lose one, only one though. He reacts pretty well. Horseman running into the berry patches here. There's no such place that these villagers can garrison. Only one horseman in defense for the Mista. Gonna fight with the villagers, a lot of idle there. Villagers on the deer patch pop out again for Wam. Horseman going past absolutely nothing there for Mista. No value to be had. He's gonna try and go for the gold villagers. 2 horsemen there, 3 horsemen there. All gonna be linking up with his army there on the north. Mista piling on the pressure with the horsemen. He will be able to produce a little bit more than Wam by virtue of saving that food from that third town centre that he doesn't have. 3 stables is the play for the Mista. Really going to get a lot of horsemen on the field here. Wam does have a camel archer, and this is a significant addition because camels cause horse cavalry units to deal 20% less damage. Scout goes down there on the right side for Wam. The west side, horsemen. Mista keeping them together, looking to snipe villagers on the deer again, but Wam is wise to the ruse. He garrisons the villagers. I suspect that Mista has iron undermesh. You get the feeling he does anyway. Oh, he hasn't actually. He's getting it now though. That's certainly going to help him dive the town centres a little bit better. Now the thing is, Mista is keeping Wam back in his base, and that's quite important because it means that Mista can kind of macro as well as he can back home cleanly. Now there is a camel archer on the field for the Mista as well. You get the feeling that the Mista's on a timer here, 50 villagers versus 52, because that third town centre is certainly going to be helping Wam. Let's take a look at the military number. That's what's going to count here, you feel. 21 for Mista, 16 for Wam. And yeah, both players doing well to spend the resources that they have. Mista going down on the right side, looking to see if they can get some value on that side. He can't. Horseman being brought for Wam to defend that position as well. Get the feeling that Mista poking and prodding, waiting for a mistake for Wam for his army to be out of position. Going to regroup together. It might take a fight here. Backs off. I think if you're the Mista, he wants to bring the army from Wam outside of his base. Trying to bait them out into a fight. Going to dive the woodline a little bit, causing the villagers to back off. Mista diving in a little bit and pulls out again. Suffering a few hit point losses from underneath the town centre. Nothing too drastic. He won't want to just stay there indefinitely. Does lose a horseman for his troubles. Might lose a second. The town centre was garrisoned. Not ideal by the Mista. Losing 2 horsemen for free. Adding in more stables. Holy moly. Mista's got 5 stables. He's really ramping up production here. But don't forget the camel archers are there for Wam, so the cavalry for the Mista will be doing less damage. running underneath the town centre again. Going to be losing another horseman, another one as well, most likely. No, managed to back off with that one. Yeah, Mr. losing military here without getting much value. 28 to 27. Does have a horseman on the right side. Maybe might be able to snipe a village, but not really. Villagers garrisoned in town centre. Mr. looking to lose a lot of numbers here for free, and this could become a problem. Can't afford to lose too many more. Camel is being added, camel archers for the Mr. Only one though. The only problem with that, just adding one camel archer, it means that Wam, if he can snipe that camel archer, that buff is lost, whereas there are 3 there for Wam. Again, Mr. looking to dive, and I just wonder whether this is all a distraction. You get the feeling Mr.'s trying something behind this. I mean, he's not on stone even, not thinking about forward keep maybe, but he's taking a fight here. Horseman backing off for Wam. Oh, Mr. needs to turn back with this group of horsemen. He won't want to take that fight. Yeah, he does back off just in time. He's going to rush in again. Huge amounts of horseman numbers here. Neither player going for a spearman switch. It is a bit difficult with the spearmen. They don't have the mobility that the horsemen do. But all the while, Mr. taking shots from the town centre. Particularly painful when they're garrisoned. Unextend himself onto the west, on the east side of the berry patch. I think this is what Mr. trying to do. He's trying to get the berries on the field as safely as possible, and the way to do that is to have map control with military. Mr. looking good for the gold for Castle Age. Oh, I was going to die. He's going to take a fight here on the gold vein, taking a better engagement. You get the feeling from Mr. Has loads of reinforcements. Don't forget, Mr. had a lot of production building. He's going to take this fight, and he's going to win it. Or at least it seems so, but the town centre has been garrisoned now. Mr. can't dive too far further forward. He's going to lose a lot of units to the town centre. I'm not sure this is a great fight for the Mr. Reinforcements coming in for Wam. Too close to tell. The town centre getting so much value as well behind this, as well as the camel archers. There are 2 camel archers there for the Mr. as well, adding a third. Mr. taking a fight here underneath the town centre. He is winning it, at least on the south aspect of things, but there are a lot of horsemen from the north of that battle. Mr. losing a lot of numbers here. 20 from the Mr. 25 for Wam. Wam has more. Mr. has to pull back, getting a lot of fire from the town centre, losing another horseman on the retreat. Holy moly, on the left side. There's something going down. There's a horseman there harassing the villagers on berries. Not like this. Not like this again, Mr. Don't lose those villagers, please. Not at a time like this. Doesn't have textiles again. Please, Mr. Get textiles. You could make the argument that he lost one of the early games because of that, not having textiles. Losing too many villagers, and now Mr.'s going to push this back. Does have an outpost there in a nice position between the 2 cliffs. Manages to deal with the horsemen eventually with the villagers. Things are settling down again. 21 military for Mr. 23 for Wam. Relatively even, but I tell you what's not even is the villager count. 72 for the Mr. 82 for Wam. 10 villager differential. And the horseman there now looking to snipe the expansion there for Wam. Does have an outpost though. So that horseman won't live for too much longer. Might snipe a villager though. Oh, another big battle in the centre. Now Mr. taking a big fight here. But I'm not sure he's got enough. Camel archers are there for Wam. Getting some good DPS. Horseman taking good engagement for Wam. I think Wam's going to win this, but he pulls back actually. Horseman reinforcements coming in for Mr. at the right time. Wam's going to retreat back to those berries. Something going down here. Horseman there on those deer villagers, but he does have an outpost. Wam with every extension, supporting those extensions with the outposts. Very critical there. And you just get the feeling the longer this goes on, Wam is looking in a strong position. The eco really building 85 villagers versus 75. Small margins here, ladies and gentlemen. This could go either way. You get the feeling that Mr. does need a win condition here. He needs to push relatively quickly. He won't want to let the eco there boom away for Wam, because he needs to win this game, Mr. If he doesn't, he will be down and out. Villagers there trying to get an outpost, but Wam sees that. He's going to try and deny that. Shouldn't be able to. The villagers will just about get there, I think, but not without casualties. Loses 1, loses 2, loses 3. Only 2 villagers remain out of the 5, and that outpost is going to go down. Mr. might lose a lot of villagers here. I don't think he has textiles. He's just not getting textiles. It's such a cheap investment. He's not doing it. Still no textiles for Mr. Neither has Wam, but Wam hasn't been losing too many villagers. Mr. backing off from this fight. He turns around, tries to take an engagement, but Wam pulls away himself. Gets the camel archers involved. Now's another big fight on front of that gold line. Wham's got 2,000 gold. Holy smokes, not spending that. Can't really spend it unless he techs up to the next stage. Mista looking to dive and get some picks here. That could be a big issue to deal with here. Wham's economy not necessarily tuned to what he would want. With that amount of gold floating, you might need to trade some of that. 16 villagers on gold, only, well, no villagers on gold for Mista because that's not what he needs. He's going for a full feudal aggression here. He's going to take a fight, and Mista's taking a great fight, you suspect. He's got the numbers, the horseman taking a good trade here, and wham, he's going to take a really bad fight. Well, you get the feeling, although may have switched around, it's too close to tell. We need to take a look at the upgrades at some point, because Mista seems to be taking this fight, but it's a bit too close to tell. A lot of horsemen dead there in the ground. Let's take a look at the blacksmith. We need to tell what's going on here. Yeah, looks like all the upgrades are in for Wham. You can only expect the same for the Mista. Let's take a look though. We need that confirmation. Yeah, both players do have all the upgrades. There is the castle age for Mista though. He was taking up all that while. Wham, still stuck in the feudal age. That could become an issue. A couple of lances on the field for the Mista would tide things over, or even the veteran upgrade. He's switching to phalanx, or Wham is switching to spearmen for defensive purposes. Mista not being able to queue up any upgrades here. Gonna siege down the outpost. Should be able to get some villager picks here. Let's take a look at the... Oh my god. Wait, what's going on? There's a forward keep drop. Mista looking to pile on the pressure. He knows he's probably behind. He's going to get a keep there. And if that goes up, that's going to spell a disaster for Wham. Does Wham have enough military on the field? He does not. He's only got 28, 27 for the Mista. Mista should be able to push this up. And if he does, that could be a win condition for him. He's going to idle a lot of the economy. The army is completely out of position for Wham. He's going to come back, but I'm not sure if it's going to be quick enough. Villagers trying to deny this. Villagers being pulled for Wham, but there's so much military there on the field for the Mista. He's going to pick off a lot of those villagers. Wham having to garrison the town centre is probably the right option, considering the options he has. The army there, static there for Wham, just standing and staring. The keep goes up. Wham under a lot of pressure here. This is a great staging ground for the Mista to push out for. This is not a fight that Wham can take, not underneath the keep. He does have his own town centre, but that's not going to be enough. The keep going to do a lot of damage here. Mista taking a great fight here. Wham fighting underneath the keep, signing his own death warrant in this game. 3-2 to Mista. Mista is pulling it back. He has a way into the set. He is halfway there for that reverse sweep. 2 more games he needs to win to pull it off. Will he be able to do it? Things hotting up in this grand final. This series is really heating up, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 6. Mista is clawing back inch by inch. Now we have Altai with an English mirror, with Wham playing in the east corner of the map in blue, and on the west is Mista in red. We're slowly pulling this back. I mean, this could turn out to be such a huge comeback for the Mista. If you're a neutral, you want to see more games, and Mista needs to win this again, because it is again match point. When Wham wins this game, then he will be the champion for this pool for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy June monthlies. This is going to be crazy, guys. If Mista pulls one back, he could push it to a game number 7, and then it would all come down to that. Stay tuned. This is going to be a great game. I can feel it in my bones. An English mirror. The thing about English mirrors, guys, these games can last forever, especially on closed maps like this. We're going to have to take a look at the build, because there's going to be fine margins between these 2 great players. Mista here, going on 8 villagers on food, 2 villagers on gold. I suspect the next one coming out to gold as well. You know what that means. He's going for a longbowman rush, a relatively fast one, without the eco upgrades of wheelbarrow. He's going to pump out those longbowmen, trying to get as much value as he possibly can. Wham, on the other hand, well, he's doing the exact same thing. All that remains to be compared is how many scouts have they gone for. Mista's gone for the 1. Wham has also gone for the 1. So even Stevens at the moment, in terms of builds as well. It's going to be fascinating to see how this one develops and unfolds. Get the feeling, just the way things have been going, how Mista's got the kind of momentum, if you will, in this set so far. Going 3-0 down, you can imagine the mentality at that point, thinking you pretty much lost it. But no, he keeps on going, he keeps on playing. And Mista's got some stamina. He is not down and out, he's going to keep on going. And he's going to keep on going by building the council hall with 5 villagers. Looks like Wham's going to be building the council hall as well. Only with 3, going to move the gold villagers to wood. Going to transition to try and pump out those longbows. He's going to send a villager forward as well. Oh, no, just a stone. Holy moly. Wait, what's going on? This could be one of two things. Wam could be going for stone for arrow slits for outposts that are used to defend his base. Or he could be going for a second town centre. I get the feeling going for a second town centre in an English mirror match is pretty greedy. Especially because if you go for fast castle, behind the fast castle you get a second town centre effectively in the King's Palace. And that would certainly be my choice of options because, yes, for sure, getting that second TC a little bit earlier could do some good, but it does take it time for that extra number of villagers to pay itself off to make any sort of meaningful difference. But the big difference of going to the castle age versus being in the feudal age is the quality of units and upgrades. And the quality of units, I really stress that part because lancers, man-at-arms, they're incredibly hard to stop, in particular the man-at-arms, because the counter to them really is a crossbow. I mean, sure, you can kind of kite them with longbows a little bit, but the longbows just tickle the man-at-arms. They literally just, go underneath the armpit, a little bit of tickle. Don't do much more damage than that. And it seems to be the case. Wam's going to go for a second town centre, and I feel like if you see this for Mista, you're going to start to smell blood, because I think Mista behind this is going to go for a fast castle. Or he might just go for a very heavy feudal age push. But the problem with going for a very feudal age push is that the defensive capabilities of the English are incredible. Especially with the town centre firing more arrows and doing more damage, but also the radius it gives, and also the ding 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 warning signs that it gives you if you're Wam. Again, villagers going on that forward stone. Wam trying to make sure he gets the full 300 before he backs off there. Longbow's going to go forward to try and deny that as quick as possible. Scouts looking to deny that. The scout for Wam trying to just deter the longbows from sniping any villagers. It looks like Wam should be able to get the 300 stone. He's really prioritizing that now. Sending a lot of villagers to do it. Now he's going to back off. Has that 301. What timing there? He's going to pull those villagers back. And he's going to have enough stone now. So Mista can't really deny the second town centre in terms of stone. And now he's looking to harass that wood line. 400 wood. Now this is a big investment. Because if he invests all that wood into a second town centre, that means Wam cannot produce longbows. And is going to need to defend himself somehow. He might drop a stable and instead go for horsemen. That'd be possibly an option. But the village is going to go out there on the right side. They're going to get possibly sniped. They're going to try and build a town centre there. Mista sees this. He's going to keep some longbows there. Wam might lose some villagers. In fact, he will. And that's going to be a problem. Wam is doing a great job of putting the villagers back. He loses one though. He's going to lose a second. This is a big problem. Okay, he's going to get a second town centre back, but he's just lost 3 villagers. The scout's probably going to die from Mista diving in. A 4th villager, I think it is. 5th is going to go down as well. This is looking bad for Wam. This is a terrible start. And a 6th. Wam is throwing villagers here. This is the pressure that's getting to him. Another one goes down. The town centre goes up, but at what cost? 17 villagers for Wam. 22, a 5 village differential. This is a big step for Mista to pull one back, to push this to a game 7. He certainly has momentum now, because Wam's going to have to play catch up. That's 7 villagers, times 50 food. That's 350 food he's behind just to catch up. That he can't pump into military. And this is looking bad for Wam at this stage. But it is early days. He's going to shoot the deer. Looking to get a mill up to mine, well, basically harvest the deer meat in a way. And now on the back of this, Mista looking to send more villagers on gold. 3 so far. I'm not sure if he's going to be committing to the feudal age. Possibly going to the castle age. Going to get some more longbows, but the walls do go up. And you get the feeling that the amount of damage that Mista can do is limited now. That he can do in the feudal age. Because unless he can walk through. Could that be a disaster for Wam? No, he can't. He can't walk through without taking huge damage. And the second town centre is such a position that actually now Mista would have to go huge way around. By the time he does that, a good few minutes would have gone. But I think now if you're Mista, is probably going to think to go to the castle age pass, possibly. Slowly getting that food and gold. Got plenty of villagers on wood though. And he is indeed going to swoop round on the left side. Farming economy is starting to be established by the Mista. Making that transition now. Interesting because he's going for the farming economy instead of the deer. The deer is the free food, so he's going to invest that wood. And that second town centre, giving the notification for Wam. A longbow does get there in advance, denies the gold temporarily. That's going to be big. It means that Wam can't afford the upgrades that we want or go to the castle age anytime soon. But he does have a stable looking to produce some horsemen. So Mista's going to have to be careful here. We won't want to lose those longbows to a horseman. Probably only needs 2 horsemen to clear that out. And yeah, villagers there going to have to back off because of that one longbow. To be honest, these villagers could probably shoot the longbowman. But instead he decides to back off. I mean, the villager's going to be idle anyway. You might as well stand and fight at that one. Not anymore though, because the other group of longbows hop in. Great micro by the Mista, pulling the weak longbowman back. Fantastic micro. Snipes one horseman. Wham, throwing that one away. He needs more than just one. A decent number of longbows here. Snipes the longbow for Wham. Wham taking really bad trades here. A lot of idle economy. So his villagers down, but also losing economy here in terms of idle time. 28 villagers for Wham. 29, almost catching up. Villagers going forward. What are these guys doing? Looking to go into the berries. That's super exposed, ladies and gentlemen. This outpost will probably spot that as well. That's looking risky. Once that outpost goes up, he might see the berries. He sees it. That is a disaster for Wham. That could potentially be a huge disaster. I'm not sure where the longbows are gone. Let's have a look. They're going back round a long way. Might be able to snipe those villagers on berries. Mista with a great start to this set. Or this game, actually. He had a terrible start to the set. A great start to this game, and it does look to be now transitioning into the castle age. Going to be going with the King's Palace, and this is the issue. He's done so much damage that actually he's not going to be too many villagers behind. I mean, Mister's only one villager behind at this point. Probably about maybe 4 villagers behind by the time he gets to the castle age. Not, you know, not huge amounts of difference, and actually he's offset by the fact that he was ahead on villagers for quite a period of time. The longbows, will they snipe the villagers on berries? He's actually going to go the long way around the wood line. I mean, he sees that, right? I mean, he sees that. I'm surprised he's not going, cutting them off. I'm surprised he's not cutting them off here. Camping there, just cutting off the retreat. He's going to snipe them though. He's taking advantage. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Horseman there, but able to snipe the horseman as well. Getting the buffer for the attack speed. Exactly what he's going to do. Going to shoot the horseman, and 1 on its own is going to get arrows taken in the butt. Tries to retreat, but now we see a stable going down for the Mista. Looks like it's going to be knights. Double stable knights going to be popping out for Mista. Looking strong here. Going to go for a mill as well for more farming economy. Mista really looking strong in this, and the reason I'm hyping it up is because if Mista does this, he will be on course for a reverse sweep, potentially making this one of the biggest comebacks in Age of Empires 4 history. Wham, looking to wall up now on the sides. Will contain his base, looking to boom up behind this. He is on 2 town centres. Let's have a look at how far away he is from the castle. He's absolutely miles away. Not going to get there anytime soon. 38 villages for the Mista, 38 for Wham. Now here are the longbows going forward for the Mista, looking to see if they can get some damage. There's the new age, there's castle age timing. Wham, nowhere near that castle age. Doesn't have enough gold, anywhere near enough gold. The thing for Mista though is going to have to break in somehow. He might need some siege, may even just be able to just torch his way down with knights. We shall see. He's going for a monastery as well, looking to get those relics. That will certainly help his position because Wham's not going to be able to contest those relics for ages. Longbows protecting that relic there. He could even camp out some longbows there to protect that relic and maybe have access to all 5 relics that are on the map. 3 of them, well 2 of them are relatively close to the Mista to be fair. And the third one in the middle is certainly his for the taking. Nice transition to the farming economy behind this. And here are the lancers, the knights. They're coming forward one by one. And now you feel that Mista will start to pile on the pressure. Maybe looking to get a forward outpost there. That's exactly what's happening. He's getting a forward outpost on that wood line. Be able to camp with the longbows. And Wham's going to struggle for wood. He's going to have to relocate to this side here. Does have 3 longbows to defend with. You just get the feeling that's not going to be enough. You should be able to defend for a little while with the ranged attack. Because obviously the lancers, the knights, won't be able to do any damage. Not until they break in. In fact, Mista not revealing his hand. Keeping his knights close by, but not revealing it. Doesn't want to give Wham the opportunity to get spearmen out. You can hear the monks coming out from the monastery, looking to get those relics now. And the knight is being kept here on the right side, or, well, left side for the Mista. To guard that relic, see some scouting information. He might give his position away though. He might give the fact that he's gone for knights away. He's going to get an outpost there, get some really good vision. Monk picks up the relic in the middle of the map. They even look to get Sacred Site, because to be perfectly honest, Wham is in no way going to be able to contest it anytime soon. He's going to push out with his longbows actually, looking to try and deny that outpost. That village just feels like it's been taking ages to build that outpost, doesn't get it up, and that's actually a problem for Mista. Doesn't have the vision. We'll need to get another villager to do that. Build that so it can at least benefit from the attack speed buff. One relic is already in. Second scholar is out. Second monk is coming out. 2 villages being pushed forward from the Mista to complete that outpost. Again, the relics can be picked up very nicely for the Mista. Longbows are only going to tickle those lancers or those knights. Yeah, barely do any damage actually, as you can see. Alright, Sacred Site was activated for a second there, but just by the monk or the scholar pushing out, and holy moly, there are some villages there, 9 of them going towards the deer. That's pretty exposed. No outpost going to defend that position. Wham doesn't even have enough wood to do so. He does go to the castle age now, over at 13 minutes. 51 villages for the Mista, 56 for Wham, 5 villages in ahead. We kind of called that earlier, that it's not a huge amount of difference. But the thing is now, Wham does have 3 town centres effectively. The villager gap will start to widen, but don't forget, that costs a lot of food. That's food that he can't pump into knights of his own. Mista looking to siege down that gate, but will be losing a knight for his troubles. Not quite. Actually, he managed to back off. He actually managed to back off there. I think the scholar takes the relic underneath the nose of Wham. The villagers don't notice. Not much they could do about it anyway. I'm pretty surprised that the Mista doesn't actually trying to get a wololo there. Maybe it doesn't want to alert Wham to it. It's going to look to get Central Sacred Site. Actually, he's going to come off that Central Sacred Site now. Looking to get more relics, I suspect. Probably the one on the west. Get the feeling that's what's going to happen. Behind this, whilst the Mista is down on villagers, well, he's got relics. He's got 2 in the kitty already. That's 200 gold per minute. That's the equivalent of 5 villages, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 5 villages. Look at that gold income for Wham, though. Getting a lot of villagers on gold. Oh, villagers there. Knights taking them out. 2 of them. We were just waiting for that. Waiting for that to happen. 4 villagers go down for Wham. Again, Mista narrowing the gap between the 2 players. Getting another relic in. Slowly but surely. Getting map control as well. Mista looking to wall these villagers in. Wham has a similar idea. Looking to get the walls up. Walls going there forward for the Mista. That will offer so much map control, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the lights there on the field now, building up for the Mista. Just need some siege in the form of trebuchets maybe to break in. There's a prelate, there's a monk there, not doing much with the relic yet. Going to deposit in now though. Picks up another 4th one coming in. That's going to be 400 gold per minute. That's a lot of villagers. It's 10 villagers. Out there looking to be sniped. Is sniped. The Mista managing to get that outpost up, and that's a really big deal because that offers that attack speed bonus, the network of castles bonus, which is a 25% increase to attack speed. Can't be underestimated. That could be a big difference. Not having that can be really devastating, especially in an English mirror where your opponent has it. Mista looking to get the right-sided Sacred Site and the Central Sacred Site. Holy moly. 3 relics already garrisoned. I think there's more on the way. Yeah, there's 1 more. That's going to be number 4. I think he's probably going to get all 5. I mean, this could even be a Sacred Site victory. Wham, pigeonholed in his base, but the thing is, slowly but surely, the village count is rising. Wham. 75 versus 69, but it takes time for that to be any sort of meaningful difference. And you know what? We see Mista on stone. You know what that means, right? If you guys have been keeping up with what Mista does, he often in Castle Age goes a little bit aggressive, just a little bit. And what he tends to do is he tends to do a keep drop. And I get the feeling, something gets me thinking that might be happening again. I can't actually see where the stone villages are though. Probably on the front, maybe? Yeah, there we go. 2 villages, not many. We'll slowly but surely get there. 2 villages will be enough to eventually afford it. He's actually going to just torch in. Forget siege. Mista doesn't worry about that. He's just going to torch in as best as he can. There are quite a few long bows there. Going for man-at-arms and crossbows. So crossbows, man-at-arms will do the job for Wham. Mista's going to need some sort of other unit to mix in there. Maybe some horsemen or longbows of his own. But because he's going full knights and he's giving away his army composition, that's a bit tricky. He is going for the veteran upgrade for his longbows. But look at the army that's starting to pop out for Wham. Let's take a look. 44 for the Mista, 27 for Wham. Sure, it's still behind, but That will start to build up, but the Mist, look at the raid of the woodline. There is no overchop. We're going to try and siege down that gate. There is an overchop. The knights are in. That's devastating for Wam. That is such a big problem. The longbows are behind. Look at the kite, but there is a town center offering a lot of defense, but he's still got a good charge attack on those villagers. Mista just letting him know that he's there. Crossbows looking to get in behind, but not being able to dish out any damage. 4 sheep there for Mista. Scout left that behind. Now we see the west sacred site looking to be taken as well. 5 relics, ladies and gentlemen. That's 500 gold per minute. That's the 3 sacred sites. That's 800 gold per minute. That's 20 villages. That's an insane amount of villages. I mean, if you'd actually look at the village count now, 80 for Mista, 86 for Wam. Mista is ahead. Economically, Mista is actually ahead. That 3 town centers is not enough for Wam at this point. The gold income is going to be absolutely insane for the Mista. Going to be able to afford Imperial Age back at this. He just needs to stop producing for a few minutes. Probably won't do that. He's going to actually dive in with the knights and cause a lot of damage. Spearmen coming out for Wam. 3 barracks there. Villagers are going to run into there where they can. These villagers get sidetracked. Back to work, ladies and gentlemen. Go back. Now the Mista putting 3 monks as well to heal up his army. Mista got full control. Wam looking to extend here with farming economy. No room. He doesn't have room to expand anymore. That's a huge problem. Look at trying to get the palisade walls off. That's not going to be enough. The knights are going to dive in. So are the longbows. Longbows focusing on the longbows. Knights going to focus getting to the man-at-arms. A couple of spearmen there are being sniped by the longbows. Get the feeling that Mista's going to win this fight by quite a margin. 54 military for the Mista. 20 from Wam. This is looking terrible for Wam. Wam trying to expand. He won't be able to make it. Mista looking strong. He might be able to equalize the set, and he does. He pulls it back. 3-3, ladies and gentlemen. Wam has got 3 games, but so is Mista. Mista winning 3 games in a row, pushing it to a final game number 7. You cannot write a better script than this. The final game of the set, the one that holds all the keys to this championship, coming right up. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. The final game of the set. Mista clawing it back. Bringing 3 games back in a row, pushing Wam to a 7th game. Wam losing 3 games in a row. Can he stem the bleeding? Ladies and gentlemen, this game holds the key. This holds the key because this could become the greatest ever comeback in Age of Empires 4 history. Wam playing in the northeast corner of the map in blue as the Chinese. In the southwest corner of the map in red is the Mista playing as the Rus. As you can see, I think it was looking to get a house there, is it? Yep, it was indeed. This is going to be a fantastic game. No matter what happens, it's going to seal the deal for this set. The winner will be the champion for this pool for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy June Finals. And the prize is a ticket to the main event for Red Bull Wololo Legacy in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. The map is 4 lakes. And we have the Rus expanding on the left side with a dock. Going to be making use of that fantastic fishing eco that the Rus have. Don't forget that Rus fishing ships, they don't need to drop off at the dock. That really reduces the time that it takes to collect all that food and drop it off because there's no travel time involved. On the right, there is no dock. For the Chinese, that's a big difference in the build already. And you just get the feeling that Mista has all the momentum in this series. Wam getting 3 games under his belt, feeling comfortable. By no means underjudging the situation that he's in or kind of underestimating his opponent. I'm sure of that. These guys are professionals. But Wam just not able to seal the deal. But will he be able to win this last game of the set and just put it all behind him? If he loses this game, it will be a bit of a horror show for him, but player like Wam, you can't keep him down. I'm sure he will be back if he loses. Mista, same sort of thing. These guys are fantastic players of Age of Empires 4. No matter who wins this game, I'm sure you'll see the other guy coming straight back for the next finals in the monthlies to try and earn their place again in the actual main event. But we can only see one winner today, and only one player will progress to the finals. Palisade walls going up. Wait, what's going on? Mista putting small palisade walls. I'm not entirely sure why. I think he scouted something. Wait, these are preemptive. This is preemptive. And he's preempting something here. He doesn't see a dot. I think he thinks it's a Barbican rush. It is going to be a Barbican rush, isn't it? These villagers going forward. 7 villagers going forward for Wam. In the final game of this set, he's going to move forward. The scouting sees it. Mista knows it's happening. He's going to put these palisades around that gold vein, trying to deny the Barbican. I mean, if you guys have seen Age of Empires 2 and TC dropping, this isn't usually something that works, but could it work in Age of Empires 4? I'm not so sure. The scout going to keep an eye on things. Villagers looking to get those palisade walls up. He just needs a foundation. Doesn't even need to complete it. Just block it. He just needs to block the Barbican and Sun. He needs to do everything he can. I'm not sure he can block it like this. I mean, there's just so many palisades that you need to get down. He's limiting the positions he can put it in, though. But the gold is probably going to be denied for the Mista. He needs to find a secondary source of gold, I suspect. Walling up here as well, not letting the Barbican come this side of things. He's investing quite a lot of wood in this. I think Wam's going to get the foundations down. It's just a matter of where. Oh my god, if he puts it there, that's going to deny 2 golds. He's going even further aggressive. He's going to deny that one. Will he get the foundations down? Looks like he will. I don't think there's anything that Mista can do. He's going to try and stand on the foundation. Hang on a minute. Yeah, he's not on the foundation. Yeah, all this wood is wasted for no reason. Wam is looking to get that Barbican and Sun up. Mista not having it. It's going to pull the villagers. I don't know if Mista's got textiles. It just doesn't seem to be a thing he does. He never gets textiles, it seems. Villagers fighting villagers, but Chinese, these villagers build fast. He might lose 1 or 2, but I suspect the Barbican will go up. Now, an extra 5 villagers being pulled by the Mista. He needs to be careful not to lose these guys on the retreat, because this Barbican will go up. Looking to take more villagers out. Wam's going to garrison as soon as it goes up. Does lose another villager, loses another. Only 2 villagers left. The Barbican and the Sun does go up, he gets to the feud age, loses another. Holy moly, they're going to garrison now. Mista might lose a villager as well on the retreat. Yeah, looks like he will. Might lose 1. He might back off. He might be able to save it. No, 1 does go down. Maybe even a second. Yeah, a second will go down. We have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbican Rush in the final game of the grand finals of the June monthlies. Villagers, 2 villagers for Wam. Looking to get some outposts there, I think. But this is great by the Mista. Looking to wall up that side. Great game awareness. The outpost will go up. How much damage it will do, I'm not so sure, because Mista will be able to cycle around here on the left side. There's certainly something that he'll need to clear up. Now, the good thing for the Mista playing the Rus is that his fishing ships will still work without having to come back to the dock, so they won't be sniped by the Barbican. But behind this, Wam is going to get a dock, and there's nothing that the Mista can do. He might have to cycle around to the right for another dock on the right side. Let's take a look at the bounty. Or the Mista. Don't forget he's playing as the Rus. 200 bounty there, not unlocking the second tier. That's a little bit rough. You will want to do that in the game. But that dock's going to go up for the Chinese. Building with 2 villagers. Those 2 villagers that built the Barbican. And Mista will notice this. He will need to get up to the feudal age. In fact, he is in the feud. Wam's in the feudal age faster. Mista lagging behind. He started to build up that age up building with the golden gate, but you just feel they have to spend a lot of wood on these palisades. When he does get to the next stage, though, he's going to need to produce some military on the waters, because we do see a junk coming out for Wam. He might be able to deny all his fishing economy. Mista looking a little bit in trouble. Going to move to the right side. Obviously, the game has a long time to go, but you get the feeling that Wam is looking to seal this one out, win this last game. Villagers on the berries, or the sheep, at least at the mill, looking to be harassed by those scouts. 1 might go down. But what's going on here? Cycle around, because you get the feeling there will be a villager. The villager does go down. I think it was trapped, as you know. Villager gets pulled back in time. Let's reorientate ourselves, and this game is really starting to heat up. Big stakes up here. Another outpost there. That will range a lot of villagers. Wam converting the Barbican rush and following it up into an outpost rush. Mista might have to pull these villagers elsewhere to another wood line. The thing is, Mista doesn't have a valuable wood line. This is a problem, because all the resources, the key resources, are stacked on the west. And a lot of it's denied by the Barbican. Barbican denies the gold. 2 golds, in fact. Berries. Wood line here. This wood line's been denied by the outpost. This is becoming an issue. Wam's going to chop through. Yeah, Mista's going to have to go to the right side. This is looking sticky. We will get that wood line down on this right side, but it is relatively exposed. Might need to invest in some wooden fortresses, but they do not come cheap. The junk taking out the fishing ships. There's still 2 there, though. Wam is putting on the pressure. Mista does get to the feudal age finally. What will it be his response? He's actually committed to more fishing ships on the southern dock. Can't blame him. Oh my god. Wam sending 4 more villagers. I don't know where they're going. Maybe for another outpost. Maybe for another dock. Maybe looking to dock this pond here. We need to keep an eye on those guys, because they're certainly up to no good. This game heating up. Junk going to be taking out that fishing ship. Oh, Mista looking to dock the right side pond as well. 2 scouts looking to see where those villagers are going. They're heading back. Whatever he was thinking of doing, he thinks better of it. He pulls back. You start wondering whether Wam will go for a Song Dynasty behind this to get the eco. He's putting an outpost on his berries as well and his sheep, not looking to take any risks here. There's that wooden fortress we talked about for the Mista. Wait, is that going to influence the lumber camp? Oh no, that doesn't influence the lumber camp. That's such a big deal. That's 20% wood income he misses out on. If he got that wooden fortress within the actual like influence of the wait. Yeah, he doesn't have it. He doesn't actually have it, I don't think. Oh my god, he doesn't have the influence. That could be 20% more wood there for the fishing economy. Mista with a little bit of a slip up there from what he could have been achieving with the ruse. Will that come to haunt him? Gold villagers having to pull back. There is a horseman on the field there for the Mista. Things have quietened down a little bit. They're a little bit more settled now. Almost 10 minutes into the game. Let's take a look at the village count. 29 for Mista. 29 for Wam. Equal situation here, but that Barbican of the Sun really narrowing the economy for Mista and having to make him spread it out. Let's have a hunting cabin there. Only 7 gold per minute on that one though. Getting some knights on the field, that's stable. Looking to get some map control now. You just wonder whether he'll be looking to get to the castle age. He's actually spending the gold and the food, so not likely for the Mista. But Wam might be heading in that direction. He's got 500 gold. Pretty far off on the food count, but the fishing ships will start to climb up with that. Wait. No, in fact, no fishing ships. Wam is playing this all on land. I'm not sure this is a good idea. He does have a few fishing ships on the western pond, but only 2. That doesn't feel right for this build because fish is so strong. And I think that's why Mista's still in the game. I mean, Mista's still got a good chance. He's still on water. There's 2 fishing ships there. 2 more. Effectively double the fishing economy. Not huge amounts to be fair, but still, every little bit helps. And the big difference is it looks like Mista's going to be continuing to invest in those fishing ships. And the good thing about the Roosters, they often have a really strong wood economy, although that's usually with the wooden fortress influence, which it doesn't have. Early night harassing the wood line. And horsemen harassing the food there. But there are villagers garrisoned in that outpost. Alright, second town centre going down there for Wam. On a position, very nice position. A lot of deer, a lot of food to be had here, and the wood as well. Secures a lot of resources there for Wam. Wam looking in a decent position here, lacking on the food though. Spending it, obviously. Spending it. And he's spending it on the Imperial Academy, which will give the 2-town centre Song Dynasty. It puts Mista at a bit of a clock here because it means the villager count will start to rise. But don't forget, Mista has been having docks producing fishing ships. These are effectively town centres in and of themselves. Gathering that food. Wait, are these idle? Wait, these are working, right? Yeah, they are. Wait, yeah, they are working. Strangely enough, Wam looking to get deer food rather than the fish. It's a surprising decision being made here on 4 lakes. 9 villagers going forward. What are these guys up to? Probably sent to wood, I suspect. Maybe gold. Where are these guys going? Looks like it's to wood. Ooh, looks like these are under the influence now, actually. These guys, yeah, these guys have got it now. Number camps and town centres within the influence of Wooden Fortress return 20% more wood. You still get the feeling this game could go either way. 12 minutes into the game. Barbican of the Sun still giving those notifications, those pinging notifications. The Mista is ready to clear up to the castle age. He could use the golden gate as well. Let's just see if he did. He's only got 3 tickets, so he has used some of it at some point. Going up to the castle age will really give him an advantage in terms of units. He'll be able to upgrade his knights. Gonna go head forward with villagers. 7 villagers. Well, hang on a minute. 6 villagers. Where's he going? He's going for forward stone. Looking for a keep. Wam is gonna be facing a keep drop, I think. Quite a few knights there. Raiding the food villagers. 5 of them. This is a distraction. Mista does this a lot, and he's so good at doing it in the castle age. I think he's going to go for a keep drop, and he's going to keep his enemy preoccupied, worried about these knights. And he might just be able to do this. Wam does have quite a bit of defenses here in terms of palisade walls to the town centre. He's well set up for the defence, looking to get the castle age, but the villagers have to track back. They can't complete the astronomical clock tower. Mista gets to the castle age. He denies the castle age for Wam. Wam might have to delete this because there are a lot of knights here diving in. The knights will be going down for the Mista, but he won't mind. This really does hamper Wam's economy here. Not being able to get to castle age himself, denying it is huge. It means now that Mista has the advantage for now. Fishing ships will be going down on the right side because Wam's docked it and got a junk on the field. There's a good bit of fishing eco that will be going down there, but 5 fishing boats there on the south pond, the south lake. Again, the villagers trying to rush up, but at what cost? He loses a lot of villagers. Let's take a look. 53 villagers for Mista, 49 for Wam. Song Dynasty, 2 town center boom for the Chinese, and he still has less villagers than the Mista. Mista is the king of raiding in this set. He's done it so often, and he does it again, and he's slowly building up the stone for a keep. Slowly but surely, Mista seems to be in control. It feels like Mista might be on the verge of making history, one of the greatest comebacks of Age of Empires 4. Wam needs to hold on. You get the feeling that Wam might be able to hold on though if he gets these walls up. Is getting that astronomical clock tower. We'll be able to get some siege if that keep does go up. But boy oh boy, he won't want that keep to go up. Investing in stables now. We'll be looking to get some lancers on the field. But the issue is that the Rus have some of the best knights in the game, if not the best. And he's doubling down, getting double stable knights on the field. And there's the keep. He's going for it. He's putting that keep forward. He's going to build it with 13 villagers. There's not a lot that Wam can do about this. I don't think Wam has much military. There's only 4 or 5 military on the field for Mista anyway. Only 4 for Wam. There's nothing Wam can do to deny this. That wood line is going to be denied. This is going to hamper that gold line. The problem for Wam is he's going to suffer from gold shortages. He's only got this gold vein on the north. That's all he's got left in terms of easy access gold. There is only 4,000 there. It's not a large gold vein which contains 8,000. Mista getting huge amounts of map control with his keep. This could be a platform to push on from. Wam has 480 stone himself. Maybe looking to get a keep in defense. I think this is what he's going to have to do. Knights diving in there. Let's just see if there is a blacksmith in play for the Rus, because he's actually getting relics in behind this. 2 relics in the field. He snaps them up because that's 200 gold per minute. That's nothing to be snuffed at. That's villager counts that he's kind of minimizing that the Chinese boom will be getting over him. 65 villagers for Wam, 61 for Mista, but the 2 relics tip it in his favor in terms of economy efficiency. But then we do have the Imperial officials there. But we do have to factor in the hunting cabins. I'm not too sure that Mista has too many of those. In any case, he's piling on the pressure. He's taking the forward gold. He's getting Sacred Site as well. That's going to add into the gold amount. Just get the feeling Wang is under a lot of pressure. He's going to go down with those villagers. Where are those villagers going? Maybe somewhere around the Sacred Site. Yeah, he's going for a keep there. Oh, I'm not sure about this. Okay, it kind of controls the Sacred Site, but that's only 100 gold per minute. There's no gold access there. These 2 gold veins probably should be the priority. But that is nowhere near the keep. Mista looking to pile on the pressure with that keep there in that forward position. I'm not so sure about this keep position, guys. Okay, he'll be able to decap the Sacred Site, but that's a lot of resources to put in just for that. A couple of villages will be going down for Mista. I think Wam trying to get some raids in, but loses that Lancer. Just get the feeling Wam's under a lot of pressure. Look at the food eco for the Mista. He's invested in a lot of fishing ships. Holy smoly. That is 10 fishing ships there, guys. They've got 2 on the right there. There's a junk still there, but not noticing these 2 fishing ships. And the fishing ship economy, wow. Still got that fishing ship there on the left. Wam, he's losing it. He's lost his fishing economy here on the west side. Wam has no fish. That is a huge problem. Let's take a look at the food income per minute. 1,000 for the Mista, 900 for Wam. It just looks like Wam is fully on land now. And that's going to run out relatively soon. You get the feeling the Mista set up for the late game. There's a trebuchet on that keep. Mista will need to repair that, but this could be a distraction. He's actually committed to land. Knights there on the field. I don't see the upgrades. I don't see the blacksmith anywhere. I think he's going to get the blacksmith now. That's the siege workshop, in fact. Siege workshop going down for the Mista. Looking to get some trebuchets, I suspect. 20 idols for Wam. That's the thing. The knights are just going to dive. They're going to look to get the trebuchet. Will he make it through? The villagers are looking to repair. Will the trebuchet get through the gate? I don't think it will. It just about... No, it doesn't. It doesn't survive. It couldn't repair it. And the villagers are going to go down. Wam losing villagers. That was the perfect scenario for the Mista. Snipes the trebuchet. Snipes the villagers looking to protect the trebuchet. Wam losing on both fronts. And these villagers are all running for safety. Only 10 can garrison in the town centre. 5 in the outpost. Everything is idle. 28 villagers, 37 villagers idle. He's only got 78 to begin with. Unless the bees come out, that's not going to be doing too much to the knights. Lancers are sweeping around for Wam. Villagers coming back. The gold has been denied. And again, the Mista just denying the gold. That is huge. It means that Wam won't be able to produce for too much longer. Does have 700 gold in the bank. Mista could even look to go to the Imperial Age behind this. And it's the fishing economy that's doing it. You get the feeling he's using the Golden Gate as well. He is. He's only got 4 tickets there. He's using the Golden Gate to his advantage. Now, the Mista does lose a lot of units there, but he won't mind because look at the economy. Behind this, he's still got the keep. That's the important bit. Got the full map control. Behind this, he's got 3 relics. He's got a sacred site as well. Sure, the sacred site's denied, but that keep, not protecting too much else. Lancers are starting to head forward with Wam's nest of bees. Let's take a look at the village count. 85 for Wam, 86 for Mista. Holy smokes, Mista has a better economy here at this stage, despite coming against the 2-town center Song Dynasty boom for the Chinese. It's the fishing economy that's doing it. You get the feeling the fishing economy is so strong here. For the Roost, that's the difference. You get the feeling that's what's making the difference. That could be what separates these two players. That could be what makes Mista the champion and completing this reverse sweep. But Wam, he's still not in it. 20 minutes into the game. But the economy just looks so weak for Wam right now. And could this be the biggest reverse sweep in Age of Empires 4 history? Okay, Wam looking to secure the gold position there. Getting an outpost there. Only 11 villagers though. Oh guys, this is really heating up. You get the feeling this game's going to end soon. Just who is going to be the one to win it? I feel like it's heading in the direction of Mista. Look at the resource count. It's looking strong. I mean, I don't think he should invest in Imperial Age anyway. He should just continue to pump out units. Mista's so good at doing that. He's actually going to clear up the gold here. He's getting rid of the outpost. He's slowly bleeding him dry of resources. Mista slowly picking up all the resources on the map, taking that forward gold that should have been Wam's. Trebuchet going to take the outpost. The villagers here are all idle. That's a lot of villagers. 11 villagers idled. He's not getting gold. Wam doesn't have safe gold income. Has this gold vein here, but that's going to run out relatively soon. Has the Imperial Official gathering. You can see, it looks like Wam saving up for another keep, but look at that stone count for Mista. You get the feeling he's going to look to put it on another keep, but get out of my game keep. Knights, full knights for the Mista, taking a fight here, looking to push Wam back, takes out the nest of bees. Going to be taking some villagers out as well. Nest of bees go down, the villagers are going to go down as well that were repairing it. Another huge dent to the economy for Wam. The knights there for the Mista. If you're Wam, what do you do in this situation but panic? This is such a bad situation for him. His economy going to be completely raided. The knights completely running awry, not being able to be countered, trying to save the nest of bees, but the villagers going to go down again. And this is looking bad for Wam. Going to lose the trebuchet, and I think with losing the trebuchet, he might lose the set. Mista in full control, raiding the farming economy. Mista 101 economy, 76 for Wam. Villagers on the gold mine dying. Imperial Official, not enough space in the outposts, not enough outposts. Town center got 10 villagers but can't take it anymore. Nesta Bees trying to do damage, but the knights are running riot. There's too many of them. They're ticketing fire from the arrows. Nesta Bees, only one of them, not going to be enough. And Mista in control of the game. Wam, with a perfect start to the set, is slowly losing grip over this set, losing 3 games in a row, and could this be the 4th? Mista again raiding the wood line. 57 villagers for Wam. This is just horrendous for him. 35 villagers idle. Knights can't be countered at this point. There's just no military for Wam. He doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the production builders, can't produce anything. Slowly but surely, Mista is raiding him to death, and he takes the set. Mista, with the biggest comeback in Age of Empires 4 history, wins the set 4-3. He is the man to win this pool. Number 2 He takes the crown for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy June finals. He is the man that gets the golden ticket prize, seals his place in the main event for the Red Bull Wololo Legacy in Castle Heidelberg, Germany. Mista is your champion, and he does it. He completes the reverse sweep. 4-3 to Mista. I cannot believe what we've just seen. This has to go down in the history as one of the greatest games, greatest sets. Commiserations for Wam. Congratulations to Mista. I'm sure Wam will be back. Wam's the kind of name that you can't really see Red Bull Wololo Legacy being without. You will have other opportunities, but tonight is Mista's time to shine. I really hope you guys enjoyed this casted games. I've covered the whole event and I hope you enjoyed every single minute of it. I certainly have. It's been a pleasure casting for you guys and I hope you enjoyed it. But my oh my, that was a crazy end to the set. I need to feel what you guys are feeling right now. Let me know in the comment section below how good you felt this set was, because I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad I casted this because I get the feeling that this is going to stay in the memory of Age of Empires fans for a very long time. It's been Fireman Official here, casting games for you. Take care, and see you next time.